Hi, I'm Michael Gilbert, a local attorney, and what you're about to watch is pretrial. Now, pretrial is the third court event in the process towards resolving a criminal case. The first was first appearance, the next was arraignment. Now we have pretrial to determine if the case is ready to proceed to docket day and potentially trial, or if it can't be worked out through plea or even dismissed. At pretrial, though, facts are not as important as they are in other hearings. In this case, it's procedural. The judge is going to bring in their entire docket to make sure that the attorneys are doing what they need to do to get the cases towards a just conclusion. Some of the cases you'll see are older, some are newer. On the older ones, you may see some tension as the judges are trying to make sure the cases are moving forward, but the stakes are getting high. So that's what pretrial is. Let's go see what happens.
All right.
We're going to need to go ahead and kick it to the whatever docket date is coming up.
Docket day, all right.
Yeah.
We'd ask to be set for docket day, please.
Okay. And have you had a chance to talk to your client about that with an interpreter?
Not with an interpreter, but she reasonably understands that we're going to have another date because the interpreter isn't here.
Okay.
And
Is the interpreter going to be here? She's just not here yet?
Scheduled, but they're usually early, so.
So why don't we do this in case the interpreter does show up in the next 10 minutes or so? Let's recall it. Otherwise, come back up and I'll give you the docket day and we'll go ahead and handle it from there.
Yes, sir, thank you.
I just don't want to, what is the plan with the case for today if we have an interpreter?
Just to move it to the, what, set it for trial?
You're going to set it for trial?
Correct.
Okay, can we just do that
It'll
now?
be ready.
Okay. All right, do you need the docket day ahead of time as well?
Yes, please.
All right, what's the docket day?
May 1st.
May 1st, 9 a.m., so that's just next week. Okay, when's the trial week? Okay, so it's a double trial week. Okay. Do I have any preference on trial weeks? I don't know how Judge Gonteric's going to do that when he gets here.
And there'll be quite a few cases, we believe, Your Honor. So we may have to be, we'll probably be sorting out by the time we get to docket day.
Maybe y'all can start coming up with a trial roster.
We will.
All right, so we'll put it on May 1st for docket day, May 8th and 15th for trial.
Should I wait or?
No, if that's what y'all are going to do anyway, as long as you're telling me that your client understands, that's the next date we're putting on. She's nodding her head as well for the record. So we'll go ahead and put it on those dates, and y'all can get moving.
Thank you, Judge.
Do you have anything else, Mr. Allen?
No, sir.
All right.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Judge, I do have one I'd like to call out of turn. This lady's got an open wound on her hand. Indicates that she's got an appointment this morning to have it treated.
Okay.
Ms. Keene, Teresa Keene,
Okay.
and that's going to be Keene. J. Williams for the defense. Judge, we're going to pass this until Monday. Monday's our docket day, and we're hoping to be able to get it resolved on that date. But I
Need any issue with that?
No, Your Honor, state does not object.
Okay. What do we expect to happen on Monday?
Hopefully, we're going to get it worked out and be entering a plea on that day. I'll go ahead and go out on a limb and say don't send subpoenas on it, but that's what we're moving for. She's provided me with a little more information. I'll make sure that gets over to the state attorney's office, but mostly I want her out of here so she can have the wound on her right hand addressed.
All right. No objection. We'll put that on Monday, May 1st at 9 a.m. That'll be in front of Judge Gunterick. That should be his first day in this division permanently.
Thank you, Judge, I appreciate it.
All right. Ms. Rivers, you said you
Yes.
had an interpreter case as well. Which case is that?
Yes, I do. It is Ruben Enrique Ordonez Mendoza.
Okay,
He is
do you know
in
what page
custody.
that's on?
I don't have the updated docket. On my docket, it's page 83.
Just going forward, obviously stating your name and your client's name really helps, but also the page number if you can. I believe it's a 129-page docket, so it'll help me find things as well.
They're not here yet? Okay.
Okay,
Well, we tried.
all right. All right, anything else that we needed to handle? Yes. You're gonna make a- Mr. Baptiste, are y'all present? Your lawyer here, sir? Oh, there we are. I think you're on that side. I'm sorry.
Nathan Prince, standing in for Mr. Baptiste on that case. He was just requesting to continue to another pretrial conference in 60 days.
And the state has no objection on it.
Okay, what's our 60-day pretrial? All right, June 26th, 9 a.m., that'll be in front of Judge Gonteric.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. Make sure you get your paperwork, and see you back on that date.
Yes, sir.
Stay in touch with your lawyer, Mr. Stevens. I know he's not here today, but make sure you stay in touch with Mr. Baptiste. All right, Dentuan Allen.
Tony Allen, Your Honor. He's in custody. Ray C. Robinson Coffee. On behalf of Mr. Allen, it's 21 CF 1988. Your Honor, I filed a motion for continuance last week on this case. There has been some discovery provided by the state. There are 3 DVD discs, and it's pretty voluminous. The discs were not operable. I spoke to someone at the state attorney's office, and they kind of walked me through it, so I was able to retrieve the documents last week. But it's just a lot. I'm just not going to be ready to go forward, so I'm asking for a continuance.
For how long?
Just the next cycle would be good.
Okay. No objection from Ms. Barrickman. Next. All right, so that's the next one regardless. We don't have a May. Okay, all right, June 26th, 9 o'clock. Do you have any issues with that continuance, Mr. Allen?
No, I don't.
Okay, I just want to make sure you're okay with it as well. All right, June 26th, 9 o'clock in front of Judge Gonteric.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Make sure you get your paperwork on the way out. All right, Chris Cook. Mr. Cotton. Do we have Chris Cook? Skip him. Anyone seen Mr. Cotton? All right, we'll skip on. Is Mr. Dees here? I haven't seen him either. All right, Ms. Dudley, I think you're next. I've got David Cornell.
Larissa Dudley for David Cornell in 22 CF 2224, 23 CF 529, and 21 CF 376. Your Honor, asked for a continuance on this matter.
No objection, Your Honor.
I don't know what the next pretrial date is.
You said you've got 3 case numbers?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm just only seeing 2. All right. Based on no objection, I'll go ahead and continue Mr. Cornell to June 26th. Do you have any objection to that continuance, sir? Okay. All right. I have Jermaine Drake.
Yes, sir. Mr. Drake is an inmate as well, Your Honor. He's here in 23 CF 297, 21 CF 1370, and 21 CF 2140. We're still working on getting all the discovery in that matter. As for continuance.
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, June 26th, 9 o'clock. Mr. Drake, did you have any objection to the continuance? No? Okay. All right, June 26th.
I think so.
9 o'clock.
And the next one I have is John Elmore. There's a waiver on file, 22 CF 2580. We ask for continuance.
No objection.
All right, June 26th, 9 a.m.
The next one is Chase Glover, 22 CF 1170. There's a waiver on file. We have depots set. We ask for continuance.
All right, what are the depots?
We're set, I believe, sometime next week.
No objection.
June 26th, 9 a.m. And you said a waiver was on file?
Yes, sir. The next is Kevin Johnson, it's 23 CF 210. We have depo set next week on his case as well. I did file a waiver. We asked for continuance.
No objection.
June 26th, 9 a.m., waiver was filed.
The next is Earl McKay, 22 CF 2576. We asked for continuance on that as well.
No objection.
June 26th, 9 a.m.
Next is Deion Sanders, he's an inmate.
I have more.
More? Oh yeah, sorry.
More than Prince.
He's an inmate as well.
I have more than Prince.
Then Sanders. Mr. Moore in 22 CF 3043 and 22 CF 1189. I would like to leave him set for docket day.
Is that going to be good or without subpoenas?
Without subpoenas. See if we can work it out.
It's okay without? All right, we'll leave him on for May 1st at 9 a.m. for docket day, no subpoenas.
The next is Connor Prince in 22 CF 3133, 22 CF 3134, 22 CF 457, and 22 CF 927. Yeah, we ask for a continuance.
No objection.
All right, Mr. Prince, do you have any objection to the continuance?
No, sir.
Put your next court date on June 26th at 9 o'clock.
All right. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
This is Deion Sanders in 21 CF 1943.
19 CF?
I would ask for a continuance. We're still waiting on some deposition dates from the state.
It has no objection.
Has no objection?
No objection.
Okay. All right. Are y'all going to get depositions done soon? This is a 21 case.
We have taken some depositions, but I needed some more dates, so I was waiting on her to get back to me.
Okay. All right. June 26th, 9 a.m. Mr. Sanders, did you have any objection to the continuance so they can do some more depositions?
He has other cases with Ms. Flowers. Are they going to hold him for her? He has, I believe, 3 or 4 more cases that Ms. Flowers represents him on.
Hold Mr. Sanders until Ms. Flowers arrives. Yeah.
And I believe the last case I have, Your Honor, is Joseph Tolles,
All right. Joseph Tolles.
22 CF 1774. Mr. Tolles? And yeah, I'd like to leave him set for Monday for docket day.
Okay. With or without?
Without.
No objection.
Okay, so we'll leave him for May 1st, 9 a.m. for docket day without subpoenas. Anything else?
That's all I have, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, next I've got is Ryan Booth, like Mr. Ellis. Mr. Booth or Mr. Ellis? Can't hear me. Better? Okay. All right, Mr. Ellis with Ryan Booth. All right, we'll come back to him.
You're referring to Ed Ellis, I haven't seen him.
I'm not familiar with Mr. Ellis, so I don't know if I've seen him or not. All right, I've got Matthew Sims.
No, you're in Junior Farkas on behalf of Mr. Sims.
Okay, Mr. Sims is here.
There's going to be a change of plea, Your Honor.
Okay, do you have a written plea agreement?
Yes. Good, give it to you.
Yes, sir. All right. All right, Mr. Sims, you're here in 22 CF 2659. It appears to be a lesser included offense of simple battery, and you want to enter that plea today, is that right? Okay, can you raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? All right, can you state your full name for the record?
Matthew Sims.
Mr. Sims, can you pull that microphone a little closer to you? That I just had the same problem as was told by the front row. All right, Mr. Sims, before I can let you enter your plea, I've got to ask some questions to make sure you understand what you're doing here today. Number one, are you under the influence of any alcohol, drugs, controlled substance, or prescription medications that could impair your ability to make the decision to enter a plea today?
No, I'm not.
All right, do you have any mental health issues or concerns that could impair your ability to enter a plea?
No.
All right, have you had enough time to speak with your lawyer?
Yes, I have.
All right, has he answered all your questions?
Yes, he has.
Anything that you've asked him to do that he's failed to do or refused to do on your behalf?
He hasn't. No, he hasn't.
Is there anything that you, no, he hasn't?
Yeah, no.
He's done everything you've asked him to do? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, are you satisfied with his advice and representation?
Yes, I am.
All right, and do you feel as though anyone has forced, pressured, or threatened you in any way to enter this plea?
No.
Has anyone promised you anything other than with the terms of the plea agreement in order to get you to plea?
No.
All right, do you understand that by entering a plea, you're giving up your right to a trial where the state would have to prove this charge beyond all reasonable doubt?
That's correct.
All right, and did you read all your trial rights that you have here on the form?
Yes, I did.
Did you understand those?
I do.
All right, do you understand that you're waiving any potential defenses that you may have had to that charge by entering a plea? Okay. Do you understand that if you're not an American citizen, this plea could potentially lead to your deportation? All right. Are you giving your plea freely, voluntarily, and knowingly? Which means it's your own decision that you've made after talking to your lawyer about it?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Any other issues, Ms. Glisson?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and accept your, I'm sorry, what was your plea, sir?
No contest.
Okay. I'll accept your no contest plea as freely, voluntarily, knowingly given. Terms of the agreement are 1 year of probation. Is that going to be with felony probation or misdemeanor?
Your Honor,
felony.
there with state probation. It'll be with us since we're doing the plea in this court.
Okay. I know with the recent change, some counties are doing it where it goes to county probation. I just wasn't sure if Okaloosa was doing that.
It'll be out.
Okay, so you'll meet with state probation before you finish up. So 1 year state probation, credit for time served. You're going to do an anger management course, abide by the terms of the injunction that's in place. Is there one in place?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. There's going to be a parenting class, random urinalysis, no contact with the victim except through an approved app regarding the children.
Talking parent.
You already have talking parents set up? Good. So you know how to use that well?
Yes.
All right. Looks like $50 cost of prosecution, and what are court costs, Madam Clerk?
It'll be,
All right, so those will be part of your probation as well. Probation is $40 a month still, right? Okay, $40 a month supervision. And make sure you meet with probation before you leave today. Good luck, Mr. Sims. Oh, I'm sorry, what did it call for?
Adjudication of guilt.
Adjudication of guilt. Okay, so you'll be convicted of the domestic, or the battery, yes, sir.
He currently lives in Alabama. Can he do the probation there?
You're going to have to talk to probation about,
No.
I can't hear you, Judge.
he lives in Alabama.
Your Honor, if the state inclined, we can put him on 1129 probation instead of 1 year with the condition to mail in the report, and then you get out of having to pay the $100 transfer fee to the interstate compact, and we can take care of all this
Today instead of-
waiting to report.
No objection.
All right, so probation will not be 1 year, it'll be 11 months, 29 days for that purpose, so you can do mail-in reporting.
Okay.
All right, otherwise you have to go through the interstate compact, and it takes a lot of time, and they may not let you go home until they get the paperwork done, so.
Thank you.
All right, anything else from Mr. Sims?
No, yeah.
All right, thank you. Well, no, I'm already in. I've got it. I just don't know, obviously our technology. As far as similar, but just a little bit different, so I want to make sure I got that set up. All right. All right, I've got Mayan Alford with Mr. Flaherty. Ms. Merrifield is here. Mr. Alford here.
No, Your Honor. Brandy Merrifield on behalf of Mayan Alford, 23 CF 357. There is a waiver on file. There's also 2 TR cases that are tracking with this judge, 23 TR 1919 and 1925. It is the first time up. We just received an extensive amount of discovery. Would request a continuance to the next pretrial.
Whose case is this for the state?
Be Miss Leone.
I did it. I'm sorry?
Alford?
Oh, yes.
They're asking for a continuance.
Yes, Your Honor, no objection. I'm sorry, I didn't catch the name.
All right, I'm trying to speak better into the microphone myself. It's June 26th work for you, Ms. Merrifield?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, June 26th at 9 o'clock.
The next case is Paul Carroll in 23 CF 469. There's a waiver on file. Similar situation, Judge. We've just received quite a bit of discovery. Would request to continue this to 626. Also, Ms. Leone's case.
Yes, no objection, Your Honor.
All right, June 26th at 9 a.m.
The next case is Christian Gonzalez Darez in 23 CF 30. Waiver on file. It's the first time up. We'd like to leave this one set for docket day for plea or continue.
No objection.
All right, May 1st, 9 a.m.
The next one on the list, Judge, is an inmate, it's Wyatt Mann in 22 CF 3068.
While we're waiting, I got one quick announcement for our lawyers. Our Okaloosa Bar pictures are being done in the building today for the upcoming composite. So if you haven't done that yet, make sure you get that done today. Special request from the board. All right, is this Mr. Mann? Head back on the other side.
And Judge, this is the second time up for Mr. Mann. We were working with the state attorney. He has collected some new charges, so we are having to coordinate with alternate counsel as well. I would request a continuance with the anticipation that we're going to try to get Mr. Mann a bond hearing coordinating with alternate counsel.
Okay. Who's the other counsel?
She is out of Pensacola, Judge, Miss Alice, and unfortunately her last name escapes me. She is not on the docket for today. She has the new law violation.
Okay, but that case is not on the docket.
No, I believe it's Miss Alice Harris out of Pensacola. And that
Okay,
case is
I know
not on
Miss
the
Harris.
docket.
Okay. All right. All right, so what are you asking for this one?
Continue this one to 626 with the anticipation that we're going to try to get him a bond
Bond
hearing.
hearing in front of Judge Gontarek? Okay. All right, 626 at 9 o'clock. Mr. Mann, do you have any issues with continuing it for that purpose? Okay. All right, June 26th, we're going to try and set you up a bond hearing before that. All right, thank you. Can everybody on Zoom hear me or no? Yes, looks like they can. We can't hear them.
The next case, Judge, is Jared Skiles in 18 CF 3045. He is an inmate. Absolutely.
believe this is Mr. Skiles, is that correct?
It is, Judge. We have a few additional depositions. We've also learned of a new address of one of the witnesses, and I believe the state is trying or has been able to track down one witness that we were previously unable to depose. So we would request a last continuance for this case.
No objection, Judge. All right. How many more depositions do you think you have? Including
There were
the new
between
witness?
60 and 80 in this case, Judge. We were able to capture as many as we were, but there are 4 or 5 essential witnesses that we are trying to locate so that we can bring this one in for a landing. So I would anticipate one more day, 4 to 5 witnesses.
All right, sound right, Mr.
Yes, Judge.
All right, so 6:26 at 9 a.m., I'm going to mark this as last continuance. That's what you're asking for. Obviously, Judge Gonzalez will talk to you about it on June 26th.
Thank you, Judge. And then, Judge, I do have one that's going to be out of order. William Harrington, he's on the PD docket. I believe he's under Mr. Williams. He is also an inmate. Harrington?
You guys have Harrington? They don't have him. I think there's only so many they can bring over at once, and I think he's probably just not ready yet.
I'm going to be asking for a continuance. We were recently retained. The proposed order is sitting in the queue. Would the court like me to return?
You know, if I may, I wouldn't
What number do you have
object
on
to.
the docket by any chance?
I know that it's under J. Williams. I'm uncertain what number on the docket.
Let me see. 105. Have you filed a substitution of counsel, Ms. Merrifield?
I have filed the motion and proposed order. I have not entered an appearance. I have not received an executed order at this time.
Judge, over here in this county, they typically will just do a notice of appearance, and then we move to withdraw. It took me a while to get used to it also.
Every court's a little bit different. All right.
In both of the cases? Okay.
And the only case that he has up today, Judge, is 23 CF 179.
All right, and they're asking for a continuance. Is this your case, Ms. Leone?
Yes, Your Honor, it
All right,
is.
do you object to the continuance?
No, I don't.
All right, I see that there has been also a motion filed to relieve the public defender. I'll grant that at this time. I know there's going to be an order that will be signed probably by Judge Kontarek at some point, but I'll go ahead and relieve the public defender at this point.
Thank you.
And grant
you,
the
Judge.
continuance, come back June 26th, 9 a.m.
Thank you, Your Honor. And I believe that's all I have this morning.
All right, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Morning, Your Honor. I have a few continuances that are.
Okay. Are they inmates at all?
They're out of custody. Judge.
Okay, I just want to make sure so that we're not trying to pull them out. Sure, go ahead, Mr. Gibbs.
It's okay, go ahead. I have
Mr.
to
Gibbs,
read
if you have a docket there with you, just so you can call it some numbers to make sure I'm tracking
I
with you.
don't have a docket. I can grab.
Well,
I think I found your section, but,
no, go right ahead. That's why I was
All right.
handing it to you. Thanks.
go ahead, Mr. Gibbs.
Thank you, Your Honor. On my docket, Judge, actually, this doesn't cover my individual. I did not bring
Sorry,
my docket.
I think you start at 146 on page 59. I'm to your section, so I should be able to follow along.
There, very well. The first judge I have is Miranda Ballantyne, that's 22 CF 1807. I think Ms. Ballantyne is in the vestibule, Judge. Yep, there she is.
All right, Ms. Ballantyne, and what are you asking for, Mr. Gibbs?
We're asking for next pretrial, June 26.
All right, any objection to that?
No objection, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Ballantyne, are you okay with the continuance to June 26? Okay. All right, June 26, 9 a.m.
And I actually skipped one, Judge. The next I have is a Rashad Armstrong. That's 22 CF 2107, 22 CF 2138.
Mr. Armstrong here? Okay, what are you asking for, Mr. Gibbs?
next pretrial, June 26th.
No objection.
All right, you okay with that continuance,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Armstrong? All right, June 26th, 9 a.m. Make sure you get your paperwork before you leave with your court date. Stay in touch with your lawyer.
Sir. You need to give me a call. Yeah.
What do you have next, Mr. Gibbs?
It's the notice, so we'll take care of it. Just give me a call.
Yes, sir.
Give me a call. Next, Your Honor, I have Mr. Jerry Blackshear. He is present and approaching. Judge, this is 22 CF 2009.
What are you asking for?
June 26th, Judge.
All right, Ms. Leone?
No objection.
All right, Mr. Blackshear, are you okay with continuing the case to June 26th? All right, we'll do so June 26th, 9 a.m. Stay in touch with your lawyer. Make sure you get your paperwork before you walk out.
No, we'll take care of it.
Mr. Gibbs, who's next?
Next, thank you, Your Honor. Next, I have Urcelia Campbell. Your Honor, Ms. Campbell is present and approaching. This is 22 CF 3160. We're asking for June 26th.
Objection.
All right, Ms. Campbell, do you have any objection to the continuance to June 26th?
I guess not.
Okay, what's the issue?
We'll be setting depositions in this case, Judge. In lieu of that, we will be trying to get sworn statements from the alleged victim as well as the other witnesses in this case to see if we can resolve it otherwise.
But I do have something to say.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, let's not talk about the facts of your case, number one. Everything's
Right.
being recorded.
The issue is, this was a family matter between my daughter.
Well, now you're starting to talk about the
Okay,
facts.
well,
of
anyway.
I just don't want you to say anything that's going to be detrimental to your
Okay,
case.
you said they're not coming to court.
Okay, well, I'll let you talk about that with your attorney. He
Yeah.
can talk to the prosecutor about that, and they can see what they can figure out.
Right, 'cause this is
However,
like the third-
I would be careful about saying someone's not coming to court when their family, ma'am,
Yeah, I got you. I understand.
because, the state attorney may be thinking that you may have something to do with them not coming to court, so I'd suggest you not talk about that except privately with your lawyer. Okay? Do you have an
Try to
objection to
confirm
the
that.
6/26 court date?
I don't have a choice, I guess.
Well, you do have a choice. If you object to it, then we can pass you and come back to it after you've had a chance to talk to Mr. Gibbs. You were brought up out of turn, so we could handle a quick continuance. If that's not the case, we can pass you until later. What would you like to do?
I guess I'll wait till June 26th. I mean, it keep getting
Ma'am?
continued.
Okay. So do we want to set it for trial instead?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to pass you, Mr. Gibbs, can have another conversation with her and call her back up.
Very well.
All right.
Thank you, Judge. Next, Your Honor, I have a Mr. Gregory Carroll. Gregory Carroll.
Can you remember me, please?
All right.
I did meet with him this morning. I just don't see an answer. We'll pass him for now, Judge.
All right.
Following Mr. Carroll, Judge, I have a Christopher Chase. Christopher Chase is present approaching, Judge. This is 22 CF 2417.
All right. What are we doing for Mr. Chase?
Requesting 626, Judge.
Okay. Any objection from the state?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right. What are we? This is from September of last year.
I very much need to make an appointment with Mr. Chase to try to resolve this
All right,
as
Mr.
quickly as
Chase,
possible.
have you met with your lawyer before today?
I had two different ones. I had a separate attorney the first time. I gave all my information to that she needed, and then I got Mr. Gibbs. And
Okay.
I haven't met with him yet. No.
Okay. Well, Mr. Gibbs has been in this division a while now, right, Mr. Gibbs?
I've been in this alphabet, Judge, since about the new year.
Okay. So this is not, you're not going to get continued again if you're not meeting with him. I'm not saying it's your fault, but make sure you meet with him before the next court date. They don't have an objection to it. I just want to make sure this case is moving along. It's from September. All right. So 6/26 at 9 a.m. Make sure you stay in touch with Mr. Gibbs, your lawyer, and then get your paperwork before you leave. All right.
Thank you, Judge. Judge, I was informed Mr. Carroll is currently here, Judge. Backing up, this is 22 CF 1986. I may have just one moment, Judge.
Yep. All right. Mr. Gibbs, you snuck in because you said you got some agreed-upon continuances, so we're not going to take breaks.
I'm sorry, I just had to inform Ms. Leone about an issue with the case. But we are requesting a continuous, Judge, to June 26th.
No objection.
All right, Mr. Carroll, do you have any issues with the case being continued?
No, sir.
All right, this is an August arrest as well. What's the delay?
We received some information from another deputy judge about a case in which Mr. Carroll may be involved, so with that coming up, we're trying to get this resolved.
All right, 6:26, 9 o'clock, stay in touch with your lawyer, make sure you get your paperwork before you leave today.
Next, Your Honor, I have Mr. Delroy Durham. Your Honor, Mr. Durham is present and approaching. This is 22 CF 2947. We're requesting June 26th, Judge.
All right, any objections?
No objection.
All right, Mr. Durham, are you okay with the continuance to June 26th?
This is Delroy. correct?
Delroy, yes.
Thank you.
Elroy Durham. Mr. Durham, I didn't hear a response.
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, make sure you respond just so everything gets picked up by the microphone. All right. Well, this is from November, it's getting old as well. 6:26, 9 o'clock. Stay in touch with your lawyer, make sure you get your paperwork before you leave, sir.
Next, Your Honor, I have Jessica Duval. Judge, this is a newer case, 23 CF 37. I need to meet with Ms. Duval. She had scheduled some appointments. I was unfortunately out sick, so
All right,
it's
so
a newer case.
Is she here?
I did speak with her this morning. She may still be out in the hallway for Ms. Duval.
All right, so Mr. Gibbs, why don't you rally up your people, and we'll call you back and get through some more of your continuances, but I'd like to get back to the regular scheduled program at this point.
Okay.
All right, I think I saw Miss Flowers. She's talking. Mr. Flowers.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing well. And yourself, sir?
Good, good. Good to see you. All right.
Judge, I'm looking at what is number 28 on my docket. Chancey.
All right, Chancey?
Yes, sir.
Chancey?
Judge, we have a motion hearing 427 in any respect, and Mr. Notes represents the co-defendant in that matter, and the state would agree that this matter needs to be continued. It's an in-depth, complicated case with medical evidence.
It's a brand-new case as well.
I'm sorry?
It's a pretty new case to us.
It is, Your Honor.
Okay.
That's correct, Your Honor. We have no objection.
Is Mr. Chancey here? Is there a waiver for him?
I'm quite confident there's a waiver.
Okay. All right.
If there's not, I'd be very surprised.
So there's a motion on 427, but you want to put it on a pretrial for 626 at this point?
That'd be fine. No, but I want the motion heard on the 27th, Judge.
I'm not going to move it from you. It's not going to be me.
427 is fine.
I'm not sure who's filling it.
Thank you, Judge. I appreciate that.
Yeah, we'll keep it on both. I just
Yes,
want to
sir.
make sure that you've got your pretrial
Thank
next.
you, Judge.
All right. 626, 9 a.m.
Very well. The next matter is Cruz, Bonnie Cruz.
Bonnie Cruz?
Yes, Your Honor,
present.
and I'm quite confident there's a waiver. Ms. Leone
Yes,
has that
sir.
case. We're asking to continue it. I think she might agree because of the seriousness of the case, that it's not ready.
So one last continuance.
That'll be fine.
Yes. Yes, Your Honor.
If there's no objection, I'll go ahead and continue that, 626, 9 o'clock.
Yes, sir. Next matter is flood. We leave this matter set for plea or trial.
So that's May 1st, 9 a.m., plea or trial. So that's with subpoenas, obviously.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes. And finally, the next matter, Your Honor, is Kishira Jackson.
What do we do with Ms. Jackson's case?
We're asking that this matter be continued. There are several defendants charged in a similar act. The case is not ready for trial, even with the best efforts of those taking depositions. The most recent depositions, several people who had been served did not appear. We're asking it be continued. I can't believe there would be a...
There is no objection from the state, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. All right, Ms. Jackson, do you have any objection to the continuance? All right, June 26, 9 a.m., so you can continue doing those depositions.
Judge, the next matter that I'm covering on behalf of co-counsel Tim Shaw is Jesse Hartzog.
Mr. Shaw's here.
He's here. You want him to walk up here, Judge?
No, it's fine. All right, do you know what page you've got him on, Mr.?
I'm page 26 of the docket that we have printed, Your Honor. I believe that's Ms. Basso's case, if I'm not mistaken.
That is correct.
All right, and you said the name again was?
Hartzog.
Hartzog.
2020 CF 2976, Your Honor, is the case number.
I've got it.
I think it's number 85 on page 26 of the docket that we were presented.
I think they took a couple off, so some of our numbers a little bit off, but I've finally found Mr. Hartzog.
Very well. In Mr. Hartzog's case, the state has recently filed a motion to transfer, if I'm not being mistaken, that has not been set. I don't know.
We may have filed a notice of hearing on that, but, Your Honor, we did file a motion to transfer that back down to Division 1, where it originally came from. It was just moved up here because of a conflict with Judge Polson at the time. So we're just asking it be returned. I think we might have filed a notice.
I see the motion was filed on the 20th.
Notice in here.
The defense is asking that the matter be continued irrespective of that motion or the status of that situation.
Do you object to the transfer?
Yes, we do.
We have no objection to continuance, Your Honor.
All right. I'll continue it to the June 26th at 9 a.m., and Judge Gonterra can make a decision on the transfer.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And we'll get it moved, set for a day before that.
Yes, and that'll be fine. Judge, the next matter, as appears on my docket, is William Johns.
John's here.
Mr. Johns has signed a waiver. He is not present. Your Honor, we're asking this matter be continued. The state will not have an objection to that. There are several co-defendants, and if you look, you will see the seriousness of the charges, sir.
The state does not have an objection.
Yep.
Okay, 6/26 at 9 o'clock.
Your Honor, would you like to address the two co-defendants' case?
If it makes sense to do so, if you all are ready, and Mr.
We're in
Prince.
this, Nathan Prince on behalf of Brandon Hardaway, and also standing in for Mr. Webster with respect to his client, Mr. Reynolds. There are waivers on file for each of those defendants, and Speedy, of course, is waived as well. I'd be asking for the same date.
Judge, we've been in contact with Mr. Webster. As one might imagine, there would be no objection to
The state has no objection for any of the co-defendants.
We'll put all the co-defendants on the same date, June 26th at 9 a.m., based on the agreement and what Mr. Prince just told us. All right, 6/26, 9 o'clock. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Judge, the next matter we have is Robert Kennedy. We're asking that this be left set without subpoenas.
For a plea?
We have every expectation it'll dispose of itself by a plea or otherwise.
All right, May 1st, no subpoenas.
Yes, sir.
9 o'clock.
Tristan Parker. We're asking, Tristan Parker,
right,
we would
Mr.
ask that
Parker,
this
go
be
ahead.
continued.
And no objection from the state, Your Honor.
Is he in custody?
He is in custody.
You have him?
I saw him.
Well, he's
I
probably
believe
not
yesterday.
available yet
Yes,
because going forward.
Your Honor, I spoke with him yesterday, and there's certainly no objection from him.
All right, 6/26, 9 o'clock.
Judge, I believe the final matter that we have is Roller, Jonathan Roller.
All right, Jonathan Roller.
Yeah, I don't,
And also no objection?
there's no objection to continue it, given the status of the case and the seriousness of the charges, Your Honor.
June 26, 9 o'clock.
Your Honor, Mr. Patel represents a Nicholas, who is a co-defendant of Roller.
That's accurate. And, Your Honor, we're anticipating depositions to be set in this case. I have no objection for
Covering
Mr.
that case
Nicholas.
for Mr. Patel? or-
We are covering for Mr. Patel. He's asked us to do so, and, Your Honor, frankly, with traffic, we were lucky to get here on time, and he could not. So we're happy to cover it for him.
Yeah, my expectation of a shorter commute today kind of fell apart when I got into 85. so-
Understood. Your Honor, there's one other matter for Mr. Patel that we could handle for him with the court's permission. Jonathan Brown.
All right, let me try to get back to where Mr. Patel's cases are. All right, what was the first one? Was it Nicholas that you talked about?
Nicholas, Your Honor.
Okay, so that's June 26th at 9 o'clock.
Thank you.
And what was the last one you called?
Jonathan Brown. Yes, sir.
All right, what are we doing with Brown?
He's asking this be continued for this reason. Deposition had been set, and one of the people that had been served did not appear for depositions. They're going to seek to reset those. And that's why he's asked, that's the information that I have.
Okay.
On Jonathan Brown?
Yes.
Does that sound accurate, Ms. Leone?
Yeah.
All right, does the state have any objection to the continuance to
We
review
just,
that
no,
deposition?
we decided to continue, Your Honor.
Okay, June 26, 9 a.m.
Your Honor, that's all I have before you this morning. Thank you. May I approach, sir?
Yes, sir. All right. We have Mr. Garrett. There's someone covering for Mr. Garrett. I'm sorry. Is it? Is Mr. Garrett here? Or Chris Royal? Okay, we'll pass Mr. Garrett. I have Mr. Gilbert. Is Mr. Gilbert here? All right, Mr. Gilbert, I think your first one was Donald Langley.
Incarcerated.
What are we doing with Mr. Langley today?
Hey, how are you?
How are you?
Morning, Your Honor. Michael Gilbert on behalf of Donald Langley in 23 CF 74, which are the new charges, and also in 15 CF 129 and 15 CF 307, which are VOPs. We request continuance.
Okay.
Next case, Your
All
Honor.
three cases be continued June 26, 9 o'clock. Do you have any issues with that, Mr. Langley, as far as? All right. You too. Go ahead, Mr. Gilbert.
On behalf of Maryland Vega Maldonado and 22 CF 2973, we have a waiver on file. We'd like to leave that set without subs for resolution.
All right. May 1st, 9 o'clock, no subpoenas.
And finally, Your Honor, covering for Mr. Dees, Raul Tinajero, Tinajero, in 23 CF 508. Have a waiver on file. It's the first time up, but he requests a continuance.
It's got Tinajero for the state. Tinajero, it's Mr. Dees' case. Tinajero. This is the first time up, June 26, 9 o'clock.
Thank you, Your Honor. That's all I have.
All right, thank you, Mr. Gilbert. All right, Ms. Gooden, I saw her a minute ago. Ms. Gooden, walk out. All right. All right. John Green.
morning, Your Honor. I have one case before the court this morning. It is Victoria Cameron, 21 CF 1558. And there is a waiver of appearance filed in the record.
Okay. What are we doing with Ms.
State and
Cameron?
defense are requesting that this matter be left on for docket day on May 1st without subs.
Yes, Your Honor, that's the agreement.
Okay. Is it going to be resolved that day?
We should be able to, we hope so.
It's just a really, really old case.
There was a change of counsel recently.
Okay. All right. May 1st without subpoenas, 9 o'clock.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Green. All right. Mr. Hardy, you covering from him?
He's got Joe Persley. There's a waiver on file. He asked that it be left for docket day without subs.
No objection. All right. May 1st without subpoenas, 9 o'clock.
Judge, I'll just wait when you call me back.
I think he also has a Philip Merritt.
Oh, let me check on that. Let me look.
Maybe write that one down and see if you can get in touch with Mr. Hardy when I'll
Judge,
call up your cases.
He said leave on, I thought, I read one.
And he's right next to you, it looks like.
Okay, so he said leave set for docket day, possible resolution.
All right. So no subpoenas? You okay with
No
that?
subpoenas, right.
All
Judge,
right.
and actually, personally, let me if I can back up, he wanted it continued. I just glanced at the thing and picked up one name, not both.
All right. Mr. Merritt, he wants a continuance.
He wants this one left docket day.
And Mr. Persley continued?
Yes.
Okay, now we're on the same page. All right, so he's going to be May 1st, 9 o'clock, going back to Mr. Persley in 22 CF 2212. That's going to be 6/26 at 9. All right. Okay. All right. All right, Mr. Merritt, it sounds like they have an order for you. It's a warrant out of Mississippi.
Mississippi.
Just step with them and they'll talk to you about it. All right. I think that's all Mr. Hardy had.
I'll text him. I'll just come back up when you call my case.
It should be pretty quick. We don't have too many more before you, Mr. Nopes, just to keep the custody people in order. All right. All right, do I have Mr. Henderson here, Tony Henderson? I haven't seen him. All right, Bradley Johnson, I saw you. Okay, Mr. Johnson, you've got Alex Coffin.
Good morning, Your Honor. Brad Johnson here on behalf of Alex Coffin, case 2021 CF 1226. Mr. Coffin's in custody. I've spoken with the state. We're going to leave it set for May 1st on docket day. I believe we're hopeful for a resolution at that point.
We'll be in discussions before then.
Okay. Do we have Mr. Coffin? Okay.
Surprised you were already over here, Judge?
I don't technically start here till next week.
That's what I
but
thought.
I'm just filling in today.
Convenient, though, so.
Not with the construction, it wasn't.
Well, yeah, but other than that.
I'll agree to June 26th, right? Make sure that. Oh, I'm sorry, May 1st.
We're going to leave it on.
You leave it on, you're right, okay.
Sure, it would be
Also,
my
fail,
case.
shave, and a haircut. Good morning, Mr. Coffin. Your attorney's announced that y'all want to leave it on for May 1st at 9 o'clock for a possible resolution. Is that okay with you? Yes. All right. Anything else we need to talk about from Mr. Coffin?
No, Your Honor.
All right. They'll see you back on May 1st, 9 o'clock with Judge Gunterick. All right.
I will give it to her.
All right, is that all you have, Mr. Johnson?
That's all I have, Your Honor. May I be excused?
Yes, sir. Good to see you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. I got Shannon Jordan with Mr. Catalinic. Mr. Catalinic here. Anyone covering for Mr. Catalinic? All right. All right, Mr. Keach. Mr. Keach, are you ready to go? All right.
Morning, Your Honor.
Morning.
First case on your docket would be State of Florida versus Sebastian Durham. Mr. Durham is present. He has a co-defendant with Mr. Nopes, Willie Durham, for the record.
All right, what are we doing with Mr. Durham today?
Judge, my office is in the process of scheduling depositions after watching all the videos in the case. We're trying to coordinate those with the state and with Mr. Nope's office. I know my office has gone back some with Ms. Leone's office a little bit about trying to get a date. So if we could just move for a continuance to the June.
And the delay, this case is almost a year old. Did you just get on it recently?
It was a case where I've been appointed to it, so yes, sir.
Okay.
I don't object. I don't object at this time, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. June 26th at 9 o'clock. Mr. Durham, make sure you stay in touch with your lawyer, get your paperwork with your new court date before you leave. But let's bring this one in for a landing. It's almost a year old. They'll bring you the paperwork.
Okay.
All right. All right. Next case, Mr. Keach.
Next case would be State of Florida versus Jessica Fickett, Fickett, 22 CF 2574. She had a co-defendant that Ms. Dudley already continued to the. She's a co-defendant of Ms. Dudley's case, Mr. Booth, who's already been continued to the June pretrial. I'd like to move it to that date as well. We were just recently appointed to this case.
I don't object.
All right. June 26th, 9 a.m. Ms. Fickett, stay in touch with your lawyer, Mr. Keach.
Next would be State of Florida versus Philip Lee, an inmate, 20 CF 2658. Judge, this is an older case. We were appointed just prior to the last pretrial after Mr. Nopes withdrew. I know some depositions have been done, just trying to get potentially one or two more done before we can set it for a trial if necessary. If we can move it to the 6/26 pretrial, I'll get those dates coordinated with Ms. Basso.
Yeah, just give me some dates for the depo and who you need.
All right, Ms. Basso, any objection?
Your Honor.
Okay. June 26th at 9 o'clock, but this is a very old case. I know you're new to it, Mr. Keach, so I'll give you some time. But,
thank you.
All right, any objection to that issue, Mr. Lee? Continue it so they can finish the depositions. All right, June 26th, 9 a.m.
Next, Your Honor, will be State of Florida versus Grady Sutton. Mr. Sutton is present. He has 4 cases on the docket, 22 CF 1890, 22 CF 2448, 22 CF 2475, and 22 CF 2450. We have a written offer of plea, if I may approach.
Yes, sir.
Court sheet is behind.
Thank you, sir.
Your Honor, at this time, Mr. Sutton, after discussions, will withdraw his previous entered plea of not guilty and tender a plea of no contest in the cases referenced above. The agreement with the Office of the State Attorney would be that he be sentenced as a youthful offender. A withhold of adjudication would apply on all cases and counts. He'd be sentenced to 5 years of supervised probation. All cases would run concurrent. For the first 24 months of probation, there would be a curfew imposed from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. with exceptions if he has to be employed or for personal reasons with prior approval from state probation. He performed 100 hours community service work, must not possess any weapons, no possession of alcohol or drugs without proof of a valid prescription. Random UAs, no contact with any of the victims in the case who were outlined in the plea agreement. He'd be barred from the premises as outlined in the plea agreement. Fines, costs, and fees would be $515 per case, $150 legal assistance fee in 1980, and $100 legal assistance fee in the remaining cases. Restitution is ordered joint and several with the co-defendant Jalen Martin in 22 CF 1980. That amount would be $1,500 payable to Carl Schaefer, and in 22 CF 2450, $130 payable to Stacy Cunningham.
And Your Honor, in 22 CF 1890, count 1 is a lesser included offense of burglary of conveyance. And then also for 22 CF 2448, count 1 is also a lesser included offense of burglary of conveyance. And this is a downward departure based on the youthful offender.
All right, Mr. Sutton, can you raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Sir.
All right, can you state your full name for the record, please?
Grady Sutton.
All right, and Mr. Sutton, have you gone over this plea form with your attorney, Mr. Keach?
Yes, sir.
Is that what you want to do today?
Yes, sir.
All right, so that involves in 22 CF 1890, lesser included offense of burglary of a conveyance and grand theft, both third-degree felonies. And in 22 CF 2448, lesser included of burglary of a conveyance, grand theft firearm, unlawful use of a two-way communication device, and then in 22 245 and 2475, as charged, burglary of a conveyance and unlawful use of a two-way communication device in each of those. Is that what you want to do today?
Sure.
Okay, before I can let you plead, I've got to ask you a few questions. First of all, are you under the influence of any alcohol, drugs, controlled substances, or prescription medications that could impair your ability to make the decision to enter this plea this morning?
Sure.
Do you have any mental health issues or concerns that could impair your ability to make that decision?
No, sir.
Have you had enough time to speak with your lawyer, Mr. Keach?
Yes, sir.
Has he answered all of your questions?
Sure.
Is there anything you've asked him to do that he's failed to do or refused to do on your behalf?
Sure.
Are you satisfied with his advice and representation?
Yes, sir.
All right. Has anyone forced, pressured, or threatened you in any way to enter this plea?
No, sir.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the terms of this plea in order to get you to plea?
Sure.
Do you understand that by entering a plea, you're giving up your right to a trial where the state would have to prove each and every one of these charges beyond all reasonable doubt?
Sir.
All right. And have you gone over this agreement with your lawyer?
Sir.
Has he gone over all of the rights to trial that you'd be giving up by doing this?
Sir.
All right. Do you understand that you'd be waiving any potential defenses that you may have?
Sir.
All right. And what is your plea?
No contest.
All right. I'll accept your no contest plea as knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently provided. As far as the agreement, it'll be concurrent between all cases with whole of adjudication. This is a youthful offender as agreed upon by the state. Special condition, well, so it's 5 years supervised probation with the Department of Corrections. You're going to talk to them before you leave this morning. They're right there back on the table. The first special condition, 24 months, you'll have a curfew of 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. each day. Only exceptions for curfew will be modified at the probation officer's discretion. For work or personal purposes, 100 hours of community service. Do not possess any weapons. No possession of alcohol or drugs without proof of a valid prescription for prescribed medications. Random urinalysis. No contact with Carl Schaefer, Daniel Davis, John Blaylock, Stacy Cunningham, Jalen Martin. And these are all spelled out in the Daniel Johnson. No return to the following locations in Crestview. 3572 Autumn Woods Drive, 3516 Malice Court, 6460 Possum Ridge Road, and 2239 Lewis Street. Fines and court costs, you're going to have a $515 for each case. Legal assistance fee of $150 in the 22 CF 1980, $100 in each of the other three. Restitution is going to be ordered joint and several with your co-defendant, Jalen Martin. In 1980, it's going to be a $1,500 payable to Mr. Schaefer, and 22 CF 245, $130 payable to Stacy Cunningham. This is a withhold of adjudication. I've reviewed the sentencing guidelines, and this is a downward departure due to the fact that he's a youthful offender.
And Your Honor, one last thing. He is a resident of Alabama. No objection to transferring probation to Alabama if he reports to Florida today.
Okay. Probation, yeah. Anything you want to tell me about that?
Your Honor, Charles Bear with State Probation. There's a $100 fee to transfer.
Okay.
Has to be paid before the transfer can be initiated. And then, is he a resident of Alabama? If he has an Alabama driver's license and documentation, the process will speed up greatly, but I can't promise you that he'll be out of here today or tomorrow. But we will get working on it as soon as $100 is paid.
Okay. So it'll be the $100 interstate compact fee. Meet with them. They'll do it as fast as they can, but they may not get you out of here today. Just work with them and get it done as quickly as possible.
And Your Honor, due to the fact that Mr. Keach is court appointed,
yes, sir,
we request the supervision fees be waived.
No objection.
Supervision fees will be waived as to Mr. Sutton. All right. Anything else from Mr. Sutton that I missed?
No, nothing from the state.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Sutton, you don't need prints for him? Yes. Okay, so withhold. All right.
And Judge, my final case will be State of Florida versus James Terrell or Terrell, 21 CF 924 and 21 CF 1577. It's my understanding he's having some health issues at the jail this morning, so they did not transport. If we could park him on the June pretrial, I'm unavailable for trial this month, but that would be a last continuance. Everything's been done. Hay's in the barn. It's ready to go. I'm just unavailable. I don't think the state would have any objection.
There's no objection. I just have to check the trial weeks myself. But
Why they didn't transport him? Correct. Okay. All right. No objection to the continuance, Ms. Basso, you said?
no objection, Your Honor.
All right. June 26th, last continuance. Sounds like y'all are ready for trial. All right. Anything else, Mr. Keach?
That's all I have. May I be excused, Your Honor?
Yes, sir.
Good seeing you. Thank you.
You too. All right. Mr. Nopes?
For Your Honor, Marty Nopes on behalf of Chad Blada, 22 CF 941. Judge, I'd ask to leave it set for docket day without subpoenas. Hopefully we can reach some type of resolution.
Blada?
There's a waiver on file.
Yes, Your Honor, if I can just state this, I would say plea or trial, because if we don't have an agreement, we need to go forward.
Well, I didn't realize that was your position, because I'm not in that position, because I'd like to actually retake the depositions of the alleged victim.
Well,
They were taken some time ago, and I don't think it's right now.
yeah, if I may, for something like that, he should ask for leave of court to redepose the victim. I was not aware that that was the defense's intention. We are ready for trial.
You filed a motion to redepose?
It'll be filed by the time I get back to my office.
Okay. All right, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put it on May 1st, but I'm going to leave it set with subpoenas. Obviously, you can talk to Judge Gonteric on May 1st, but you haven't filed the motion yet, so I'm going to keep it there.
Thank you, Your Honor, that will be fine.
Yes, sir. Judge, next case I have is Kevin Bray. He's an inmate, but we've got a plea agreement. If I may approach?
Yes, sir. And just on the last one, Mr. Nopes, it's a really old case. Yeah, I know. I understand the situation.
Judge, I've got Kevin Jerome Bray, 23 CF 35, charged with possession of controlled substance. Judge, the plea agreement with the state is that if he entered a no contest plea, it'd be time served. It'd be $615 in court cost, $150 court-appointed legal assistance fee, and those dollars and cents would go to collections.
All right, is that the state's agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I'm showing the scores 61 points. Are you all agreeing to a downward departure?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Bray, raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? All right. Mr. Nopes, can you pull that microphone to his side a little bit just to make sure that he gets picked up? You can move the whole thing. All right. Can you state your name for the record, please?
Kevin Bray, sir.
All right. And Mr. Bray, you're here in 23 CF 35. You heard what your attorney just announced, that you want to enter what amounts to a time served plea on the possession of controlled substance without prescription. Is that what you want to do today?
Yes, sir.
All right, I have to ask you a few questions before I can let you do that. Number one, are you currently under the influence of any alcohol, drugs, controlled substances, or prescription medications that could impair your ability to make such a decision?
No, Your Honor.
All right, and do you have any mental health issues or concerns that can impair your ability to make such a decision?
No, sir.
Have you had enough time to speak with Mr. Nopes, your attorney?
Yes, sir, I have.
And has he answered all of your questions?
Yes, sir, he has.
Anything you've asked him to do that he's failed to do or refused to do on your behalf?
No, sir.
Are you satisfied with his advice and representation?
Yes, sir.
Do you feel as if anyone has forced, pressured, or threatened you in any way to enter this plea?
No, sir.
Do you feel as if anyone has promised you anything other than the terms of this agreement in order to get you to plea?
No, sir.
Do you understand that by entering a plea, you're giving up your right to a trial where the state would have to prove this charge beyond all reasonable doubt? Did you go over this form with your lawyer?
Yes, sir.
And did he explain to you your trial rights that you'd be giving up as part of this agreement?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions on those?
No, sir.
And this is your signature on the form as well, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And what is your plea?
No contest. No contest.
No contest, sir.
Okay. I'm going to accept your no contest plea as freely, voluntarily, knowingly given. I'm going to adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to time served, $615 in court costs, $150 court-appointed legal assistance fee, and I'm going to send those fees and fines to collections due to the fact that there's no probation. Anything else from Mr. Bray? It's a downward departure based on the state's agreement. Anything else from Mr. Bray?
Your Honor.
Yeah, I don't know what you're going to say, but go ahead.
I'm sorry. Your Honor, I recently had a hold out of Alabama, and on April the 4th, it went to court there, and they withdrew that warrant, but the jailhouse is still showing that hold here.
I'm not sure how I can figure out any differently, because all I'm going to ask is the people who work there.
I shared with him yesterday that normally what happens is once he's available to be released here, they're going to see the hold, they'll contact him then to see if it's still valid.
Okay.
It's kind of like when on the street when they check it with the warrant to see if it's still valid from that place, but they won't do it till you're ready to be released. That's just kind of how it works. So hopefully that'll work out for you.
Good luck, bud.
All right.
Thank
Anything else, Mr. Bray?
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Judge, the next case is Madison Chancey. There's a waiver on file. She's co-defendant with Mr. Flowers' client, Seth Chancey. I believe they continued that one, so it's ours.
It's in here. June 26th, 9 o'clock from Ms. Chancey. Is she present? Mr. Nopes?
I'm sorry?
Ms. Chancey present.
But she is not. There's a waiver on file.
And which Chancey is this?
This is Madison
Rose
Chancey.
Okay, is it? All right. June 26th, 9 o'clock.
The next case I have is Mindy Collins. Judge, we are coordinating. I think we've arrived on a date for the depositions.
No objection.
No objection. Were you asking for a continuance, Mr.
Yes, sir.
Nopes? I don't think you said it yet, but all right. June 26th, 9 a.m., no objection from the state. See you back on that date.
Judge, I then have Andre Copeland present. Judge, if we could leave it set for Monday without subpoenas.
Expect to have it resolved that day?
We're hoping to.
Okay, Ms. Barrickman, we think we're going to have it resolved that day? All right, May 1st, 9 a.m., we'll see you back on that day. Mr. Copeland, that'll be in front of Judge Gontarek. Stay in touch with your lawyer until then. It sounds like they're still trying to work some things out. All right, do you have any issues with putting it on May 1st?
You're fine with it next Monday?
Yes.
All right, we'll see you next Monday.
Judge, the next case I have is Justin Diaz, and from my understanding, he's incarcerated, and I know he's not incarcerated here. I believe he might be in Walton County. I just haven't had a chance to get over to Walton County to make sure. I'll check on the website to see if they show him. But I was just going to continue it anyway.
No objection.
All right. June 26, 9 a.m. for Mr. Diaz.
Next case is Judith Dickerson. There is a waiver on file. I was going to continue it. It's a fairly new case, Judge.
No objection.
June 26, 9 a.m.
Next case I have, Your Honor, is Willie Durham, co-defendant with Mr. Keach's case of Sebastian
Durham, I believe it was.
And I believe he continued his for depots.
All right. Y'all still setting up Durham for depots?
Yes, no objection.
An old case. I know you guys were probably on it a little late in the game, but we need to get that one moving along as well.
The next case is Dylan Grantham. There is a waiver on file. Judge, it's a fairly new case. I was going to continue it. I've seen some information coming back and forth, and I've not talked to the state about what the victim's position is at this point. But I saw something.
Could we leave it set for docket day so I get a chance, Your Honor?
Okay. We'll leave it on May 1st, 9 a.m. without subpoena so y'all can talk about that.
Thank you.
Judge Aaron Jefferson.
We already did we handle Hoffman already?
I'm sorry?
Did we handle Hoffman already?
Judge, he's not on my list anymore. Chris Garrett is his new attorney.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. Nopes. Go ahead. This is Aaron Jefferson.
Aaron Jefferson.
Okay.
Judge, he's present.
What are we doing on Mr. Jefferson?
Okay, Judge, he's hard of hearing.
Okay.
So do we have
the...
Does the clerk have a blank financial affidavit that I could have? I need an evaluation done, but you've got now indigent for cost. There's a protocol you have to go through. So I need to get, if I get two of them, then I'll give him one and have him fill it out. I'd ask to continue it, and then what I'm going to do is I'll ask my client to fill this out and get it to me, and I'll make sure I'm jumping through the hoops that Jack puts on us. So if I could continue it.
All right. Any issue with that, Ms. Leone?
I guess, no, Your Honor. It's fine. It's an old case, I know.
Well, you said, is he not, aren't you court appointed on this case?
I am, Judge, but I think they have to have, before I file the motion, I have to file with it in docket with Jack a current financial affidavit.
Okay. All right. So what's going on with the case is from March of last year?
I understand. I went the other day to look at what I have to do, and it seems like there's new requirements. Because I've had some problems. Me and Dr. Harper are trying to get Jack to pay for somebody else, and they are just kicking us back. It's been a nightmare.
Okay. Ms. Leone?
I don't have much of a choice. I don't object, Your Honor.
All right. I'm going to put it on June 26th, but this situation has to be fixed, or at least you can show Judge Gontarek, who's probably familiar with JEC stuff as well as I am.
I understand.
That everything's been done, and maybe get a motion set if they're still giving you any grief on that. All right. June 26th at 9 o'clock.
Why don't you meet me at my office by about 11 o'clock? Go to my office.
The office?
Yes. I'll be there as soon as I'm out of court. Good. Give it better then.
All right.
Judge, the next case I have is Stephen Jernigan. There's a waiver on file. It's a new case. I'd ask to put it June 26th.
All right. Any objection?
No, Your Honor, no
All right,
objection.
June 26th, 9 a.m. Can I just interrupt you for just a minute, Mr. Nopes, because I'm having a couple of interpreters on Zoom. Miss, I think it's Batova We've already handled the case that we needed the Russian interpreter. And then who represents Cynthia Allen?
I do, Your Honor.
Okay, is she present? Okay, if we could just take her case real quick.
Very well.
Can we turn that monitor on so she can see? We do have the sign language interpreter on.
I don't know if this screen will display your screen, Judge.
What I can do is I'll put it on the big one if she can look that way.
I don't think that it will.
Let's see. What I'll do is, there we go. I can spotlight our interpreter, but I'm not sure he can see her.
Maybe that you could turn your camera this way, Judge. For our sign language interpreter.
I think if the sign language interpreter, if you make that one, put it in the spotlight, it might make it bigger for you. I think you right-click at the top of that picture, and it'll allow you to. All right, with court security having issues, so she came up closer to my camera, that way that he can see her. It's just going to be difficult. She's going to then have to turn around to see him. Okay. All right. All right. All right, can you raise your right hand? But she can't see him. All right. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Now I can't hear him.
Weird, yeah, we can't.
All right, let's do this. I hate to do it, but if we could pass Miss Allen's case, I'm going to have to get IT to make sure that the sound is working right. Again, I'm used to a little bit of a different system that has a few more options.
Okay.
All right, we'll pass it and get back to it. So I just didn't want to keep the interpreter on here any longer than we needed. All right. Hold on just one second. Let me. All right, Ms. Batova, are you here for the Russian interpreter? All right, I can't hear you, but I just want to make sure you understand. We handled that case already. It was an agreed-upon continuance, and she understood that that was going to happen, so I don't think we'll need you going further. I can't hear you, but unfortunately, our Zoom is not quite working today. So we're going to have IT come take a look at it. All right, Mr. Nopes, who do you have next?
Judge, I've got Shailene Matthews. The state and I have spoke this morning. She understands where we're at. We're going to leave it set without subpoenas. Dr. Harper was doing an evaluation.
Miss Matthews, I believe, is an inmate. Miss Matthews?
She's an inmate.
So Ms. Matthews has a new case as well as a VOP, is that right?
Sorry?
She has a VOP as well as a new case? All right, what are we doing with Ms. Matthews?
We're going to leave it set for Monday without subpoenas. Nobody expects this case to be tried. I'm trying to get Dr. Harper's report. She's evaluating her for mitigation, as well as one other issue, and I've talked to the state this morning. They're aware of what's going on.
All right. Whose case is this for the state? I'm assuming Ms. Barrickman or Ms. Basso. Who has Shailene Matthews?
Sorry, Your Honor, we were talking about a court order on something else.
No worries. He's trying to leave it on for May 1st.
That's not a problem, Your Honor. I think we're still trying to find out what the status is of an evaluation that he requires before entering a plea or proceeding.
Okay. All right, we'll see you back May 1st. That's next Monday.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
Judge, the next case is Cord McCraney. He's an inmate.
McCraney?
Yes, sir.
For some reason, Zoom can hear us. We can't hear them. I'll let y'all.
Same assistant.
Visit our store in Crestview or online at DaceTirePros.com.
Anybody on Zoom?
Tire Pros love the drive.
Hey, I'm David at Family Vision of Crestview. We've been providing excellent optical service for Northwest Florida for over 34 years. Come in and let us take care of you.
Depots.
Okay.
No objection, and I believe this is currently set on Wednesday's docket. If we could just remove that and have all cases set for the June 26th docket.
Okay, what was the Wednesday docket?
Wednesday's just some random morning docket with Judge Conteric for miscellaneous.
Okay, so you don't need that date anymore?
I don't.
Violation of probation date, I think.
Okay, so it's just getting everything to run together. All right. June 26th, 9 o'clock. Make sure we take his case off of Wednesday and put it with that one as well so they run together. All right, Mr. McCraney, do you have any issues with that continuance? No, sir. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Next case is in custody, Andrew McDonald. Judge, Mr. McDonald's case is going to be continued.
All right.
No objection.
All right. It looks like it's just from January. I'll go ahead and put it on June 26th at 9 a.m. Any issues with that, Mr. McDonald?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. June 26th. Who's this, Mr. Nopes?
Judge, this is Stephen
Lovich?
Lovich. Judge, I met with him yesterday, and I've talked with the state. We're going to continue it, and I'm going to...
No objection, Your Honor. And this is another case that was also set on this Wednesday's docket. If we could just remove that and have all cases set for June 26th.
Okay, we're going to put all of Mr. McClovich's cases on June 26th at 9 o'clock, including the one that's currently set for Wednesday. It's being continued to do depositions. Any issue with that, Mr. McClovich?
No.
All right, thank you. June 26th.
Judge, the next case I have is LaDonna Medley. Judge, there's a waiver on file. I did get discovery last week, and try to meet with her later today. I'd rather continue it, maybe, instead of leaving it set for Monday, but kind of, what does the state want to do?
Leave it for Monday for a possible plea if he can get something worked out. Has an offer been given?
It has been.
Okay. Well, all right, we'll put it on Monday, May 1st, 9 a.m. for purposes of a potential plea, no subpoenas.
Since this is the first time up, though, I would ask for a waiver of speedy trial.
Sure, we'll waive that.
You could file that, Mr. Nopes.
Judge, the next case I have is Ryan Miller.
Mr. Miller's approaching. 22 CF 1293. What are we going to do with Mr. Miller's case?
So Mr. Miller's case, I was appointed late. I don't remember exactly when I was appointed, but I wasn't the first person. The state and I have agreed to continue it. We're in settlement negotiations on how to resolve it. The state would, they need some additional time to look at some aspects of it.
Okay.
No objection.
Do you have depositions you think are going to have to be done still?
Judge, I don't think there are going to be any depositions needed to be done. There's just some nuances to this case that she wants to look closely at.
Okay. All right. Mr. Miller, any objection to that continuance?
No, sir.
All right. June 26th at 9 a.m. Get your paperwork before you leave. Stay in touch with your lawyer, Mr. Nopes. Yeah. He is.
Judge Jared Riley, R-I-L-E-Y, there's a co-defendant.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Jared Riley.
Jared Riley.
Judge, the co-defendant is represented by Bo Powell, and we've scheduled depositions. So I think we need to continue this.
Are the depositions scheduled?
They are scheduled.
June 26th, no objection, Ms. Basso?
No objection, Your Honor.
Okay, June 26th at 9 o'clock. Mr. Riley?
Yes, sir.
Stay in touch with your lawyer. You have any issues with that continuance so they can get those depositions
I
done?
do not, but I do want to ask you a question.
Okay, you want to talk about it with your lawyer real quick before you?
I was just asking about due process.
Okay, well, that's a pretty big topic.
It is.
So I'll let you talk to your lawyer about it and see what the issues are. If y'all feel the need to file a motion, you certainly can. I'm just filling in for one day, so I don't know a whole lot about your case, but I would talk to Mr. Nopes about it and file anything that you need to file and bring it in front of Judge Gontarek if need be. He starts next week.
Okay.
All right. All right, thank you, Mr. Riley. June 26th at 9 o'clock.
Judge Brandon Scarborough, present. Judge, we're going to leave it set for Monday. The state and I have chatted this morning, and we'll hopefully have it resolved. It's not going to trial.
Well, what's going to happen if it's not resolved?
Well, she wants to hear back from me as to what our offer is to resolve for a plea to set for sentencing.
Okay. But it's from February of 21.
There's been some, Dr. Harper doing some stuff and what have you.
And we're aware of the evaluation that he's waiting on, but we would ask to be left for 5-1, Your Honor.
Okay. Without subpoenas?
Without subpoenas.
Okay, May
And
1st.
we'll be ready next time if we need to. It's not a problem.
All right, May 1st, 9 o'clock. We'll see you next week, Mr. Scarborough.
And then, Judge, the last case I have is William Talbot. He's in custody. Judge, I don't know exactly when I got appointed to his case, but I met with him yesterday, and we've got to have depositions to determine what law enforcement says happened versus what my guy's going to say that happened.
This is a VOP? Or are you talking about the
VOP
it's a new case?
I believe.
Okay.
They all need to run together.
Ms. Leone, any issues?
sorry, Your Honor.
Are there depositions set, Mr. Nopes?
They are not. I have not requested depositions.
Okay, so what are we doing between now and the next court date? I may have missed something. I just want to make sure I hear
Just
it.
June 26th for continuance. I mean, I met with him yesterday, and based on what, we covered all the discovery, and there's just huge. We're going to have to do depositions.
So you're going to set up depositions?
Got to.
Okay.
That's fine, Your Honor.
All right, June 26th, 9 o'clock. everything, Mr.
Continuance.
Nopes?
Continuance.
Yeah, June 26th, 9 o'clock.
Very good. That's all I've got, Judge.
All right. Can we bring up Ms. Allen again? Yes, I've got it up here still. All right, let me get it moved over there and set up. Okay. You could just explain to her, it just has to face you for what you have to say, and then say it to the camera, which is to her right.
Okay, perfect.
All right. All right, this is Cynthia Allen, 22 CF 2819. I've been handed a plea and sentencing agreement for charges of criminal mischief, third-degree felony, burglary, unoccupied conveyance, third-degree felony, and petty theft, a first-degree misdemeanor. Ms. Allen, have you gone over this form with your lawyer, Mr. Gibbs?
I have, Your Honor.
And is this what you want to do today?
It is, yes.
And you understand the maximum period of incarceration is 5 years for each count 1 and 2, and 1 year for count 1. That's the maximum that you can get on these charges. That's not what you're going to get according to this plea agreement, though. You have to watch him.
Yes, sir, I'm aware. I was reading your lips, yes, sir.
Okay. All right. And I've already sworn you in earlier, right?
You did, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor.
Let's just make sure. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
It's the full truth. I'm not lying, yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Before I can let you plead, I've got to ask you some questions. Number one, are you under the influence of any alcohol, drugs, controlled substances, or prescription medications that could impair your ability to make the decision to enter a plea?
No, no, sir.
Do you have any mental health issues or concerns that would impair your ability to make such a decision?
No, sir.
No. All right. Have you had enough time to speak with your attorney, Mr. Gibbs?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I've already spoken with my attorney. I'm satisfied.
Did he answer all of your questions? Did he answer all of your questions?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And are you satisfied with his advice and representation?
Yes, sir. I'm satisfied. Yes, I'm satisfied with my representation.
Do you feel as if anyone has forced, pressured, or threatened you in any way to enter this plea?
No, sir.
Okay. Do you feel as anyone has promised you anything in regards to this plea other than what's in the agreement? Sir, I'm going to ask you to step back, please. I don't need you giving her answers.
Oh, she's saying everything's perfect. No, sir.
Okay. All right. Do you understand by entering a plea you're giving up your right to a trial where the state would have to prove these charges beyond all reasonable doubt?
Yes, sir. I accept everything that's listed here.
Okay. And did you go over your trial rights that you'd be giving up with your attorney?
Yes, sir. I accept everything that's listed. My attorney explained everything to me.
All right. And do you understand you're waiving any potential defenses that you may have had to these charges?
Yes, sir. I understand.
All right. And what is your plea? No contest?
Trying to tell her to look at me. Yeah, there we go.
That's the camera there, he can see you. Ma'am, face the camera.
Sign into that one.
She's hoping for 18 months probation. Is that correct, Mr. Good?
I believe it's 12 months probation.
12 months probation.
12 months probation.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Do you understand you're waiving any potential defenses that you had?
Yes, sir, I accept this.
Okay. All right. I'm going to accept your no contest plea as freely, voluntarily, and knowingly given. I'm going to place you on 12 months probation with terms of $100 cost of prosecution, $515 in court costs, $150 public defender fee. I'm going to order restitution, but at reserve as to the amount. No contact with Carolyn Barandi. Be adjudicated guilty, all counts. Is this the state's agreement?
Yes, Your Honor, it is.
I see your signature on it. It appears she scores 45 points. Is this a downward departure based on the plea bargain?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Okay. I just want to make sure, Ms. Allen, you understand that if you violate your probation, if you were to violate your probation, you would score state prison.
Yes, sir, I understand.
Okay. Probation is concurrent across all of them. It's only 12 months, so I don't have to do it. I guess 1129 for the misdemeanor. All right. Anything else from Ms. Allen?
I don't have anything further, Judge. Thank you.
Okay. We need to get your fingerprints, ma'am, and you have 30 days to appeal. Do we have a way that she can speak with probation?
Your Honor, Charles Berry with State Probation. She's been on probation with us before,
Yes, sir.
and between her and the gentleman, we can kind of communicate with her.
Okay.
We don't have any sign language guy over there.
Okay.
We'll try our best.
Can you talk to her? You can talk today with the help of her friend who was here?
Yes.
Okay.
We have in the past.
All right. All right. Sir, if you could help out with that, that would be appreciated.
We request the supervision fees be waived, Your Honor.
Granted.
Thank you.
All right. Anything else from Ms. Allen?
I have nothing further, Judge.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Good. All right. Make sure you go talk to probation after you get your fingerprints done. All right. Mr. LaPella.
Thank you, Judge. I believe I have one, maybe two cases on the docket this morning.
I see two.
I have Joshua Hovermill, state filed a dismissal on Friday.
Okay. Well, no one. All right.
And then the other case is an inmate, Ivan King,
Okay.
and we're going to be asking to continue his case.
Who has King?
I do, Your Honor.
We continued it previously. The state was going to give us an offer. I don't think we have one yet, but we're going to probably be able to try this case next cycle.
Next cycle? So you want to continue it to June?
Yeah, and if the state wants to depose our expert witness, they probably need to go ahead.
May I just ask one question, Your Honor, and for the defense? Can we leave it set for docket day, plea or continued? I may have some communication with Mr. Lupella prior to next pretrial. Would that be fine, sir?
Oh, I mean, that's fine. I just don't want to come up for a needless court date.
Do you think it's going to be, something's going to happen between now and May 1st?
It might, if we reach an agreement. I was trying to get to the agreement. It's a very serious case, Your Honor. I had to speak with the victims' family members, and there's several and out of state. I'm coordinating all of that. if it's too much of a burden, then the state does not object to continue it to 6/26 next pretrial.
That's what we'd prefer, Judge. If we find a deal, and we'll set it for an early plea.
Okay.
That's fine, Your Honor.
All right, so June 26th, 9 a.m., if y'all work something out, certainly, contact the court in order to put it on an earlier date for that plea.
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
Yes, thank you,
All
Judge.
right, June 26th, 9 a.m. Any concerns with that, Mr. King?
No, sir.
All right, thank you.
And, Your Honor, thank you. You're here. Mr. Cotton asked me to, the court would address his cases and continue those cases as well. He had to run out.
Okay, let me just hold on. I don't believe we need the ASL interpreter anymore. I think you're free to go, sir. Thank you, appreciate it. What cases do you have for Mr. Cotton?
Mr. Cotton has Karen Lehman and Christopher Cook.
Okay, Christopher Cook. Do we have Christopher Cook here? Is there a waiver filed to your knowledge, Mr.
I believe he
LaPelle?
has waivers on all of his cases.
Okay, and this looks like a pretty new case. What are we doing on Chris Cook?
He wants to continue it one cycle.
All right. Any objection on Chris Cook?
No, Your Honor, no objection is...
All right, June 26th, 9 a.m. for Cook. And the other one?
Karen Lehman on 22 CF 2309.
Is she present or a waiver?
Yeah, she has a waiver. It's going to ultimately be a plea, but he needs to get some medical work completed, or she does.
Oh.
So moving to continue one last cycle, it looks like.
All right. 6/26, I'm going to call that last continuance.
Thank you, Your Honor. That's all I have.
Obviously, if something changes, especially if it's medical, you can certainly file, or Mr. Cotton can file something, but
All right.
that's a
Good to see
pretty
you in
old case.
Okaloosa County, Judge. Thank you.
Thanks. All right. Let me get back
At
to
Powell,
the-
Powell & Powell, we are a family of lawyers working together as a team for our clients.
All right. I have Mr. Powell. I got Dixie Powell. Oh, Powell. Is anyone covering for Dixie? I got an Alicia Harper for him.
Good morning, Judge. I can cover for him.
Okay.
Bo Powell for the record. The first matter I have, Judge, is Jerry Davis.
Okay.
Waiver on file for Mr. Davis.
What are we doing with Mr. Davis's case?
Asking to put this on docket day. We did receive an amended offer. I think we'll have a resolution on docket day.
All right, May 1st without subpoenas.
Thank you.
Thank you,
9
Judge.
o'clock.
The next matter I have is Cheryl Vick. Waiver on file for Ms. Vick, and we did receive a PTI offer. Asking to put this on docket day for resolution.
All right, May 1st, 9 a.m. for docket day. No subpoenas.
Have Jason McDonald. And we have deposition scheduled for June 27th, asking for a continuance.
Okay. All right. Any issue with that? Is that, Ms. Glisson, is that your case?
No objections. McDonald?
Jason McDonald?
No objection, Judge. Yes,
All
it's
right. June 26th, 9 a.m. Pretty recent case, too. Is Mr. McDonald, you have a waiver for him?
I do, Judge.
Okay. All right. Who else do you have?
Aaron Renault.
Aaron Renault.
We just completed one round of depositions, Judge. We are in plea negotiations, asking for a continuance. I think we'll be able to wrap it up next cycle.
All right, June 26th, 9 a.m.
Have Bryson Gurney. On Mr. Gurney's matter, it is an older case, Judge, but we have not taken the deposition of the main investigator, and I believe there's a motion hearing set for May 5th, so asking for the June 26th.
You said May 5th there's a motion?
I believe there is a motion hearing on May 5th.
What's the motion hearing?
I'm sorry, Judge.
What's the motion hearing?
Just pertaining to discovery. There was a pending motion to compel. We may.
The case is just, it's just over a year old.
Yes, sir. If you just had issues with the main investigator and getting that deposition.
Judge, this particular case pertains to an investigator who's no longer with OCSO, so getting information has been a little more difficult, but we are set for a motion hearing, I believe, at the beginning of May. I should do a continuance.
June 26th, 9 o'clock.
Thank you, Judge. Also have Jessica Taylor. We have depositions scheduled, I believe, June 26th as well, asking for a continuance.
No objection.
All right, June 26th, 9 o'clock. What time are the depositions? Afternoon?
I'm not sure. I think they're
double
that
book you,
afternoon.
Mr. Powell.
What's that?
Just don't want to double book you with the new court date.
Yes, I think they're that afternoon.
Okay. All right. Anything else, Mr. Powell?
I can cover for Dixie Powell
I
as
also
well.
had, well, this is Gil Powers Jr., but you covered his cases too, right?
I did.
Megan Allen Velez.
Just I believe we got an order back on that one.
Okay. Oh, there was a couple they removed. I guess I still have the old docket printed.
Got you.
All right, and then as far as, there was a Alicia Harper, 23 CF 202. Looks like it's a case from January. Charges of production of marijuana, killing a deer or turkey in closed season, and resisting a wildlife officer.
If we could just set that for docket day for status, clear continue.
Yes, Your Honor, please. Thank you.
May 1st, 9 a.m.
Thank you, Judge. I'm also covering for Chris Garrett this morning. Sorry.
It's all right.
I shuffle around.
Yeah, I'm not used to handling a docket quite so voluminous. All right, what does Mr. Garrett have?
Mr. Garrett has Chris Royal.
Chris Royal? All right, what are we doing on Royal?
Continuance.
Who has Royal for the state?
Me, Your Honor. Please listen for the state.
And Mr. Garrett was just asking, he was completing discovery and asking for a continuance.
Any objection on a continuance for
No
Royal?
objection.
All right, it's June 26th, 9 a.m.
Is Benjamin Hoffman. This is an older case, but Mr. Garrett was just retained, and he's asking for a continuance.
First time up for Mr. Garrett, we have no objection.
Okay, 6/26 at 9 a.m.
Thank you, Judge. That's all I had this morning.
All right.
Have a good day.
You too. Do we handle Hardaway? With Mr. Prince? Is that the one that we handled? That was a co-defendant case? All right, I just didn't find it and cross it off. All right, and I think the next one is going to be, get the camera turned back. All right, I have John Forrest with Gil Shaftnit.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Morning.
Morning, Your Honor.
All right. And who has that case for the state?
Warren Judge Aaron Ambrose for the state.
Okay, there you go. Everyone's on Zoom. All right. All right, what are we doing with Mr. Forrest's case today?
Your Honor, I'm asking that the court reset this and continue it to June 26th, and we be allowed to appear by Zoom or telephonic. It's an older case. We had about a half-day hearing on the motion to suppress and motion limine orders back in December. We essentially just need to wrap up a few things. May want to take one more deposition, may file a couple more motions, but not nearly as voluminous as the one that was previously heard by the court. And we should be ready on the 26th of June to go ahead and schedule trial.
Ambrose, what's the state's position?
I'm filling in for Mr. McGraw, and he's in court right now, and that's what his understanding was. It was going to be reset for these issues and to be addressed, and he has no objection.
Okay. How is this case still around from 2010?
There was an appellate issue.
An appellate issue? Okay. Just wanted to make sure there was.
He's convicted back on a 3850, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. June 26, 9 a.m. Based on no objection.
And may we appear electronically? I'm in Tampa. Mr. Schaffner's in Gainesville.
What I would do is if you could contact Judge Gontarik's office. He takes over this division full-time starting next Monday. I'm not sure what his Zoom policy is, so I don't want to speak for him. But if you could just contact his office and his assistant, Cheryl Gary, and she can give you that information. It may be on his policies on the website as well, because he's already handled such a division previously in Fort Walton.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for your time.
All right.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you.
That's all I have. Might be excused.
Yes, sir. Sorry to keep y'all waiting so long.
No problem.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good day, sir.
You too. All right, Mr. Stewart.
May it please the court, Your Honor, Brad Stewart present, Judge. Several matters on the docket. Your Honor, my first client is Mr. Bachman. Judge, can we approach briefly?
Sure. Six, 9 a.m. I have just 1 second to respond to something else, Mr. Stewart. I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
Sorry about that. Emergency next door.
Yes, Your Honor.
Next county over. All right, go ahead.
Your Honor, my next client is Madison Beatty, Judge. We do need to continue this for additional depositions. We've had one round of depositions. We did have some substantial witnesses that were no-call, no-shows under subpoena. We anticipate the final round to be dispositive of the case.
The state has no objection.
Okay. June 26, 9 o'clock. Do you have a waiver on file?
We do, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
My next client is Mr. Thomas Haney, Judge. Waiver is on file. We need to continue this, Judge. We anticipate setting depositions in the matter.
Who has this for the state? Thomas Haney.
Haney?
Haney, Haney, 22 CF 2759.
Yes, and he was requesting a continuance, Your Honor?
That's correct.
Oh, okay, no objection.
All right, 6/26, 9 o'clock.
Your Honor, my next client is Mr. Jordan Harris, Judge, similarly situated. We are having an expert review medical records. May need depositions after that review, Judge, for state's experts. Do need to continue this to 6/26.
Objection to the state.
All right, 6:26, 9 o'clock. The case is starting to get a little old too, Mr. Stewart.
Yes, Your Honor. Judge, my next client is Mr. Harvard, Mr. John Harvard. Mr. Harvard is incarcerated, Judge.
Okay.
Mr. Harvard is present before the court, Judge. I need to leave this on for docket day for plea or continue.
All right. Plea or continue.
If I may inquire, Your Honor, is there any other deposition left, Mr.?
That's correct. We do have one final deposition, Judge, and we should be concluded.
When is that set?
That is set for May 23rd.
Okay, but we're going to keep it set for May 1st?
We are, Judge. I believe the state has provided an amended offer. I need to discuss some matters with my client. I want to be able to bring him back on the 1st if we can resolve the case.
Yes, Your Honor, that is correct. I'm leaving the offer open, the last one that I made, only until docket day of this cycle. Then if he wants to go, May 1st, yes.
All right, understand that, Mr. Stewart and Mr. Harvard. Plea offer is only open until May 1st when you'll come back at 9 o'clock.
Yes, Your Honor.
May I address the court, Your Honor?
Okay. And do you want to talk about it with Mr. Stewart first?
Yeah.
All right, we okay with May 1st?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, May 1st, 9 o'clock. Plea or continue.
Your Honor, my next client is Mr. Samuel Height. We do have a waiver on record, Judge. I do need to continue this matter. We anticipate that this case will be resolved next cycle.
Objection.
This one's very old. Let's get that one finished out last time, last continuance.
Yes, Judge, we had...
June 26, 9
We did have an expert involved in that one, Judge. It was kind of elongated.
I understand. It's just, obviously, if something comes up, you can talk to Judge Gontarek about it, but it's getting pretty old.
Certainly. Understood, Judge. Your Honor, my next client is Jordan Kelly Vest. I need to leave that on for docket day for 501, please. We anticipate a plea in that.
Is it plea or trial, Mr. Stewart?
No.
Well,
Do you object to a potential continuance down
right, I am.
Leave it, you can send out subpoenas, but you can,
I think that would be a misallocation of taxpayer resources.
well, except this case is from July of 22.
Yes, it's my understanding we've completed all the depositions.
Hold on, I can only hear one at you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I said, I thought we have completed all the depositions and whatever outstanding discovery, that's the reason why I'm insisting not to continue it.
Okay. Mr. Stewart, your response?
I didn't ask for a continuance.
But you're ultimately going to potentially continue it next time, right?
No, Your Honor, this will be a plea.
It'll be a plea? I thought you said plea or continuance.
No.
Okay, well, maybe I misheard it.
I misunderstood too, Your Honor, thank you.
May 1st, 9 a.m. for purposes of a plea.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, appreciate it.
Your Honor, my next client is Mr. Mike Mandel.
Mike Mandel, is an inmate.
Mr. Mandel is an inmate, Judge.
22 CF 1320 and 1549, and 22 CF 2038.
Mr. Mandel is present before the court, Judge. We need to leave this on for the 1st, Judge. Plea or continue. We are in negotiations with the state at this point. We're hopeful to resolve it on the 1st.
No objection.
All right, May 1st, 9 o'clock.
See you today. All right. Yeah. Your Honor, my final client is Mr. Anthony Roca.
Okay.
Mr. Roca is an inmate. Mr. Roca is present before the court, Judge. As he approaches, we are still waiting for a FDLE report on Mr. Roca's case. This is an older case. We do anticipate that is going to kickstart the movement on the case. I anticipate depositions as it relates to the findings by FDLE. You need to continue this to the 628 case.
How are we still waiting for FDLE reports over a year into it, almost a year and a half?
That's an excellent question, Judge, and part of it by no fault of either party. There has been some turnover, I think, in the state attorney's office. Ms. Leone was made aware of this issue with FDLE. It was sent off at the beginning of March for FDLE analysis. So the sample was taken, it just simply was not submitted.
And if
Not accurate, Ms. Leone?
Is right, yes, Your Honor. The issue, I know it sounds a little bit weird and complicated. This is the issue. There were 2 blood works, if you wish, done. One was the regular blood work at the hospital. The other one was a toxicology. When I got the case, I was communicating with Mr. Stewart. I was confusing the 2 reports, claiming that we have everything. I looked deeper, and I noticed that we did not. So we sent it out. We received a partial report, the toxicology. We're waiting for the very last. I anticipate getting this within the next 2 to 3 weeks.
And to be specific, Judge, it's the toxicology from the alleged victim.
Okay.
Yes, Your Honor, that is.
So it's just hospital blood that was taken and then legal blood sent off, but hadn't been reviewed until now.
That's correct.
Yes.
Now I understand that, so I appreciate y'all explaining that for me.
Thank you.
June 26th, 9 o'clock. Mr. Roca, do you have any issue with that? Is it Roca or Rocca?
That's it, Roca.
Roca? Okay. Any issues with that continuance based on what we just talked about? All right, June 26th, 9 o'clock.
June 26th, thank you. Your Honor, that's all I have before the court may be excused.
Yes.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, I have Mr. Switek. I believe is on Zoom.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Morning. What do you have, Mr. Switek?
I have 3 cases before you. One is Shelley Edwards, and that is case number...
Wait, Shelley Edwards? I don't have you as having Shelley Edwards. Was she
She was referred to mental health court, and last week Judge Schlechter transferred the case back to your docket, or this docket.
This docket.
Yep. Maybe that paperwork hasn't caught up.
Okay. So I believe, is this Miss Edwards present? Yes? Okay. Is she on the docket? Okay. So she... Okay. It looks like she was canceled off the docket when she went to Judge Schlechter's specialty division, and it was sent back, but so she's not technically on this date. What would you like to set it for, Mr. Switek? I have a docket day on May 1st. That's just next Monday, and that will be Judge Gonteric, who's taken over permanently.
Well, I need to file a motion for competency evaluation for Ms. Edwards, so perhaps it's best to set it off.
All right, State. I don't know anything about the case. I can't see it on my docket anywhere.
It's an older case, Your Honor. It's a battery on law enforcement officers. One of those cases, the victim is very cooperative and adamant of going forward. I've allowed Ms. Edwards the possibility to go to mental health court, psychological evaluation and treatment. In other words, we're ready for a plea or trial. But if defense believes that defendant requires an evaluation, I don't have an objection.
Okay.
Do you have our evaluations in hand?
Ma'am, hold on. I just...
We did everything she said.
Okay, hold on. Mr. Switek, has she been evaluated for competency before in this case?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Well, there's different types of evaluations, ma'am, and so there may be a... Hold on. I don't want you to say anything that's going to be detrimental to your case, and I'm not trying to shut you down because everyone gets the chance to talk in front of me. I just want to make sure you don't say anything without your lawyer present that could be detrimental to you. A psychological evaluation is not quite the same thing as a competency evaluation, and so what your attorney's asking for is to do that. It sounds like that's, is what's needed according to your lawyer, so he's going to file a motion for that. In the meantime, since that can't be done and the state doesn't object to a further continuance, I'm willing to put it on the June 26th date, but I think we need to get this resolved as quickly as possible. But just know that oftentimes when a competency evaluation comes back one way or the other, they may ask for a second one. Particularly if you were to come back incompetent to proceed, the state may ask for a second evaluation by a different doctor. So just making sure y'all are just understanding of how the situation works, so that it's not a surprise to you if that happens in the future. Okay.
Judge, I don't think I'll be available on the 26th. Why don't we put it on May 1st, and I'll have a motion before Judge Gonteric by that time.
All right. May 1st work for you all? Yes? Okay.
Thank you.
May 1st, 9 a.m. Y'all can address it with Judge Gonteric on that day if need be.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Switek. Oh, you had other cases. I'm sorry.
I've got two more. I've got Luis Lopez. It's 22 CF 1418. I'm waiting for a risk assessment evaluation that the Air Force is conducting in his separation proceedings.
Okay.
So I'd seek continuance on his case.
That's without objection, Your Honor. That's my case. I am aware that the Air Force is seeking administrative discharge of Mr. Lopez, and they do have some proceedings going, so we have no objection to that.
All right. June 26th, 9 a.m. Was he present, or did you file a waiver, Mr.?
He's got a waiver. So does Mr. Nunez, the next case.
All right. Edgar Nunez.
21 CF 1005. We filed a motion to dismiss on that case and count 2 of the information, and that needs to be scheduled and heard.
And, Your Honor, we'll be filing an amended information today. That should correct that problem.
All right. So what are we going to do going forward?
If the motion to dismiss, I couldn't exactly hear Ms. Bausell, but if you're dismissing count 2.
I think she said she's filing an amended information to fix the issue that your motion addresses.
Oh, okay.
I don't know anything about what the motion's for other than to dismiss. I don't know this, but that was her response if you didn't hear it.
Okay. The case is probably good to go then, depending on the state's amended information. Okay. For presumptive plea.
So do we want to leave it set for 5-1?
May 1st, Mr. Switek?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, May 1st for a plea?
Thank you, Your Honor. And we will file the amended today, Mr. Switek, so you'll get a courtesy copy.
Yeah, make sure he gets another copy. All right.
Presumptive plea, Your Honor.
Presumptive plea.
That's a fancy word for soft pleas.
Okay. Thank you, Judge. All right, May 1st, 9 a.m. All right, is that everything, Mr. Switek?
Yes, Your Honor. May I be excused?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Mr. Tony.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
And the first matter on the docket is State of Florida versus Jeremy Scott Dixon in case number 2021 CF 2701. There's a waiver for Mr. Dixon on file. We filed a motion to suppress and a motion to dismiss in this case, and it needs to be set.
Well, yes, Your Honor, that is correct. However, he had filed previously a motion to suppress that was never set for a hearing. Then he filed a new motion to suppress that has never been set for a hearing. And so my suggestion is that we leave it set for trial, and we can argue the motion to suppress jury review.
If I may, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
With regards to the previous motion, after taking the deposition and getting discovery, it was realized that additional motion had to be filed to kind of correct that matter. To the extent that this motion is dispositive and it required that the officer be able to testify, I don't mind. If she wants to set it for a hearing on the 7th, that's fine. That's her discretion, but we normally have a hearing day for these type things, and that's all I was going to do, just put it on the miscellaneous day. I have no objections if she wanted to try to have it heard on the 1st, because it's completely dispositive of this particular case, Your Honor, and I'm sure once the court hears the facts of this motion, my motion is going to be granted.
All right, when's the soonest we can actually have that set? How long is it going to take, Mr. Tony?
It would take, Your Honor, the officer's testimony, which shouldn't take more than 10 to 15 minutes. 30 minutes would be all we would need in this particular matter.
To be safe, Your Honor, I would say 1 hour. However, May 1st would be too soon. I need 10 days to subpoena the officers. That's why I suggested jury review.
What day is that?
I don't believe we have a set day for jury review, but we have miscellaneous, I believe, next week. Am I right?
May 4th?
May 4th? Yeah. So I was assuming Judge Gontieri may use that as a jury review. He hasn't told us.
May 4th work for you?
Yes, it works for me, Your Honor. I have anything set on it.
9 o'clock, Your Honor?
Well, is there anything set that day already?
There is, if you want it.
Yeah, I was going to say, maybe the afternoon, just
That's
in case
fine,
he
Your
starts
Honor.
putting
May
other
4th at
cases
2?
there.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so May 4th at 2 o'clock for the motion hearing. If you could do a notice of hearing on that, Mr. Tony. You also have, are we leaving it on for trial then? Do y'all need the docket day on Monday?
I don't think it's going to go to trial, Your Honor,
Okay.
unless the law drastically changes.
I don't know anything about your motion, Mr. Tony, and I won't be the one deciding it. So if things don't go the way you want, is it going to be a trial?
I would need a little bit more time for a trial, Your Honor.
Leonie, your response to that?
He's going to need more time for trial?
Yes.
This case is from October of 21.
Here's the problem, Your Honor. I have 2 pending matters that I've already have pending for trial, and one is in Alabama. We've talked about that, me and the state, on the reason why we really didn't set this other case that we have for Dumas, because I just don't have the time to prepare for an additional trial within the next few weeks.
Yeah, Your Honor, it's true we discussed. I didn't agree to that, though.
I'm not saying we agreed to it. That's true.
Do you have a trial the week of May 8th or 15th, the 2 trial weeks in this division?
I have one on the 11th of May, and I also have one on the 9th of May the 3rd.
So could you do the trial week of May 15th?
Well, May 15th, I mean, I have pre-trial on that particular date for another case, Your Honor, but, I mean, it's by Zoom. I guess we can handle it that way if that's possible.
For the 15th for
The
trial?
set will be fine
All right.
for the week of the 15th.
All right, so do you still need the docket day for Monday the 1st, or we just want to put it on the 4th at 2 o'clock and we can handle any other potential pretrial issues then? I just don't want y'all to have to come back twice in the same week for the same case, a week after you were just here and 2 weeks before you'll be back again.
Well, I'm coming back I'm probably going to have to come back on that day anyway, Your Honor, for another case that we have on this matter, so.
All right.
That's fine, Your
May
Honor.
1st for docket day, May 4th, 2 o'clock for the motion hearing, as well as May 15th for trial.
Thank you.
What else do you have, Mr. Tony?
The next case is State of Florida versus Lawrence Dumas in 2021 CF 1126 and 2021 CF 1125. We want to leave this set for the 1st as Mr. Dumas approaches. It's our understanding that we're going to be entering a plea on this particular case, but it's still an outstanding matter in Walton County that I think and me and my co-counsel, Mr. Henderson, have been talking about it. We're going to be able to bring them all in at the same time.
Okay.
So we would just leave that set for plea on the 1st.
Is that Tony Henderson?
Yes.
Are you covering for him today?
I'm covering for him today.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
So we just leave it set for plea on the 1st.
All right.
Plea on the 1st, because I think we can easily resolve the possession of controlled substance case if we cannot plead on the fleeing and eluding case.
Yeah, I've talked to him about it. I've gotten your emails, and I think we're all on the same page, so we should be able to resolve it on the 1st.
Yes, and I have something to say before, yeah.
All right, May 1st, 9 a.m. All right. Thank you, Mr.
The next, Your Honor, I have Jaquez Raphael Deutsch, case number 2022 CF 2275. Mr. Deutsch, in this particular case, and please, Mr. Deutsch, approach. In this particular case, we had a pretrial intervention agreement. I have a copy of the agreement, Your Honor. For some reason, it was never given to probation. I have one that he has signed, which concludes this matter. If we can just have that re-entered, and I think that would resolve any problems that we would have on that one.
Pretrial intervention?
Yes.
From the state?
Yes, Your Honor, that's fine.
It says last time, from March 6th, PTI was never entered. So do we have it now and everyone signed it?
Yes, sir.
May I approach him?
Yes, sir.
I don't think I do either, just to...
Thank you. All right, anything else?
Yeah, I think-
You need like a return date? I'm not sure how y'all do pretrial intervention in this division.
We can just...
You want to take a look at it?
This agreement, we will send him to our office. We will instruct him on the agreement.
Okay, sounds
Do you,
good.
do
Thank
you want
sir.
us to give us a control date on that, or?
Do y'all normally do a control date on PTI?
Yes, if he has to go report, yeah.
If he doesn't show up, we'll notify the court.
Okay. All right, make
So
sure.
that's
you-
fine.
Is he gonna go, he's gonna meet with them, y'all today?
Right now.
Okay.
Let's say this is 4 months, he's already paid, he just got to pay the fine.
Mr. Tony, do you have anything else?
I have one more, Your Honor.
Okay. Who do you have, Mr. Tony?
State of Florida versus Ebony Williams. This is
Any idea where she's on our docket? Because she's not under your name, it doesn't appear.
well,
Give me
the case number is 21 CF 2986 and 2021 2986 and 2021 2987.
She's on Smart Bench under you, but she's not on my printed docket for you.
She's under Lisa Rivers.
Oh, okay. Well, there's a substitution
There
of
was a
counsel that was
substitution
done
of
back in March.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, it just for some reason didn't end up on this docket, but it is here.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes, sir.
I have here a written plea. And, Your Honor, with it, in exchange for a no processing case number 21 CF 2987, the defendant would plea his charge to case number 21 CF 2986 as an adjudication of guilt, 12 months probation, 50 hours community service, no return to Days Pawn Shop, She must also vacate 405 Booker Street within 30 days, and she's already done that, and pay restitution to the Okaloosa County School District, $348.95, plus court costs and the cost of prosecution.
Okay. Is that the state's agreement?
It is, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Ms. Williams, can you raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Okay. All right. Can you state your full name for the record, please?
Ebony Williams.
All right. And Ms. Williams, have you gone over this plea and sentencing agreement with your attorney, Mr. Tony?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have any questions about it? No? All right. I just have to ask you some questions before you plea. First of all, are you under the influence of any alcohol, drugs, controlled substances, or prescription medications that could impair your ability to make the decision to enter this plea?
No, sir.
Any mental health issues or concerns that could impair your ability to enter that plea?
No, sir.
And have you had enough time to speak with Mr. Tony about this?
Yes, sir.
And has he answered all of your questions?
Yes,
Are you
sir.
satisfied with his advice and representation?
Yes, sir.
Do you feel as if anyone has forced, pressured, or threatened you in any way to enter this plea?
No, sir.
Do you feel as if anyone has promised you anything in return for this plea other than what's mentioned in this agreement?
No, sir.
All right. Do you understand that by entering a plea, you're giving up your right to a trial where the state would have had to prove these charges beyond all reasonable doubt?
Yes, sir.
And did you go over the trial rights that you'd be giving up with your attorney?
Yes, sir.
All right. Did you understand all those?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand you're waiving all of those?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand you're waiving any potential defenses that you may have had to these charges?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And what is your plea?
No contest.
Okay. And are you giving your no contest plea freely, voluntarily, and knowingly, which is your own decision you've made after discussing with your lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And do you understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen and you enter a plea, it could lead to your deportation? Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. I'll accept your no contest plea is freely, voluntarily, knowingly given. Calls for an adjudication of guilt. Looks like 21 CF 2987 is going to be null pros. Is that correct, State?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay. And then you pled to the one count of false information regarding a pawn item, which is a third-degree felony and a 5-year maximum, $5,000 maximum fine. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. 12 months of probation, 50 hours of community service, no return to Dan's Pawn Shop, vacate 405 Booker Street within 30 days. Sounds like you've done that already, but just make sure you provide proof of that to your probation officer. You're going to have to tell them where you're living anyway.
Okay.
Restitution to Okaloosa County School District, $348.95. Court costs will be what, Madam Clerk? $515 in court costs, and cost of prosecution is $100?
$100.
Okay, $100 cost of prosecution. Did I miss anything? Oh, cost of supervision?
Plus the community.
Your Honor, can we pay for the hours of community service and have the cost of probation waived?
Okay. Is there any issue with the probation, or I'm sorry, the community service being bought out?
No.
Okay. What's the typical rate y'all do that as? $10 per hour? Okay. All right. And why am I waiving, why should I waive cost of supervision?
Well, this case is a unique case to the extent, Your Honor, that my client was in a situation where she and her family is going through extreme financial hardships. She was not able to pay her rent, and she took the computer or the laptop from the school and turned it in. She thought she could just pay it back with a pawn ticket, and it wouldn't be a bad situation. Had she known it would have been a criminal offense, since she was responsible for it, she wouldn't have done it in the first place. I've waived my costs for her as representation in this particular case, Your Honor. It's just a case of, someone who doesn't have the wherewithal.
Sure. Does probation have an issue with waiving?
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll waive cost of supervision. Ms. Glisson, did you have
Yes, Your
something
Honor,
else?
if she's going to buy out any of the community service hours, I would ask that the court order of restitution be paid to her.
Okay.
Okay.
That's typically how it goes. I think restitution's paid first, and then court costs come from there. All right. All right. Anything else that I've missed? Step over, be fingerprinted. You have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court. Meet with probation before you leave here today.
And, Your Honor, there's one other matter I have. I'm covering.
I think you said that last time, Mr. Taylor.
I'm pretending to be Mr. Henderson.
Oh, I forgot. I brought that up already.
In case number 2022 CF 1289, the State of Florida versus Kevin Josie. There's a waiver on file, and Mr. Henderson is requesting a continuance.
There's no objection.
All right, June 26, 9 o'clock.
Yeah, that's all I have, Your Honor. May I be excused?
Yes, sir.
Good seeing you, Judge.
You too. All right, Mr. Trail.
Morning, Your Honor.
Morning.
Mr. Trell, appearing on behalf of Caleb Umber, case numbers 2023 CF 370 and 371.
All right, is he present?
I have a waiver on file, Your Honor. Unfortunately, this is a case that I took in, and literally the same day everything was signed, I had a family emergency that took me away for about 2 weeks. So if the court would not mind, I'm requesting a one-cycle continuance. I believe the discovery has been sent to me. I think that came in last week, but I just need some more time to talk to the state attorney.
This case is only a couple of months old.
No
Ms. Finney.
objection.
All right, June 26 at 9 o'clock work, Mr. True?
Yes, Your Honor, it does.
Okay. All right, June 26, 9 a.m. for Mr. Humbert.
Thank you, Your Honor. That's all I have.
All right. Sorry it took so long, but they give me a pretty big docket. All right, Ms. Turner?
Your Honor.
Oh, there you are. I saw you over there earlier, and all right.
Justina
so
Turner,
this is, go
on
ahead.
behalf of Max Alvarado, case 19 CF 2316. Your Honor, we are ready for trial in this matter, and talked to the state attorney, Mr. Rogers. I believe we both have trial subpoenas out for the week of May 8th.
Okay.
There is a motion to exclude an expert report, and I would ask that you schedule that motion hearing on May 8th, because due to witness availability issues, that's when we have planned it, Your Honor.
You want Judge Gontarek to hear that motion on the day of jury selection?
I do. And then we would select our jury on the 9th, and Mr. Rogers needs 2 days, I believe, starting Wednesday and Thursday, and our case in chief would be Friday the 12th, and that also is consistent with my witness availability, which is limited to that time.
Rogers?
Judge, the state's ready for trial. As to scheduling, I'm going to leave that to the court's discretion.
Well, this is what I'm going to do just to make sure, because I don't want to, blow up Judge Gontarek's first trial week without him knowing so, at least. So I'd like to put y'all on May 1st at 9 o'clock for the docket day, so that you can at least talk that over with Judge Gontarek. That'll be his first day over here, or up here, I guess. And then y'all can set the motion hearing that day. I mean, I'm fine with it, obviously, but it's not my docket, so I don't want to speak for Judge Gontarek.
Yes, sir.
And if that's going to cause an issue with his jury selection for other cases, I'm not even sure how many cases we actually have set for trial at this point. I haven't heard too many that were actually 100% going this time around, other than the one for the 15th.
Yes, sir.
But I'm fine putting it on the 8th. It'll be heard that day, unless Judge Gontarek has an issue with it when y'all come in next Monday.
Yes, sir.
Sound good?
Yes, thank you.
All right. All right.
That's all I have. May I be excused?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right. Got Evan Reynolds with Stephen Webster. That was one that was already part of another one. Okay. All right. All right. William Harrington, did we take care of that already?
William, Your Honor? Yes.
William Harrington, I think we took care of
We did.
it. Okay.
Was Ms. Merrifield.
I know I had a couple people we skipped.
Would you mind, Your Honor? I have a case, a defendant is pro se. He communicated with me. Would you mind addressing that? He's not here. I'm just going to say that I'm fine to continue it.
Okay, which case is that?
Chad James.
Chad James?
Yes.
Right. He asked to continue it to June 26th, fine?
Well, in reality, Your Honor, just to price the court, the offer in that case was that if he paid restitution up front, I would dismiss the case. He submitted proof of payment. I just have to confirm with the victim. Upon doing that, I will dismiss the case.
Okay, I'll put it on June 26th for control.
That would be fine.
If it gets dismissed, it gets
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. All right. I think I had, was it
Yeah.
All right, Ellis, Mr. Ellis.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Yeah,
Ed Ellis
Ryan
here on
Booth.
behalf of Ryan Booth. He's incarcerated in Santa Rosa County Jail, Your Honor. We're going to be seeking to continue Ms. Loren. We've already taken some depots, but one of the deputies wasn't able to be there.
Okay. June 26th?
That's fine.
Yes, sir, that's
9 a.m.
fine.
All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Very nice
Anything
meeting you.
else? All right, Mr. Cotton. I think I have Ms. Flowers and Mr. Catalinic as well. Morning.
I have two cases on the docket today. The first one is Wagner, W-A-G-N-E-R. Matthew Noel Wagner, Your Honor. I filed a waiver 23 CF 191. Your Honor, it's the first time up on this case. We're seeking a continuance. I don't think there's an objection by the state, Your Honor. It's Ms. Bosso's
Wagner?
case.
Oh, Ms. Basso?
Sorry, Judge, there is no objection to a continuance.
All right, 6/26 at 9 a.m.
Thank you, Your Honor. One more case, sir.
Shannon Jordan, I think?
Jordan Saylor. Case number 23 CF 129.
Ed Sandler? Oh. They're saying that's Judge Brown's case. I've got a different Jordan for you, I believe. I've got Shannon Jordan is listed on this docket, 22 CF 3050. Charge of fraud.
That would be my...
Your Honor, it might be an error.
Okay. Do you know what that case is listed for you? Do you know what you want to do with that one? Looks like you were just assigned to it a couple of days ago. Looks like there was a capias that was recalled back in March. Because of that, you didn't get notice of it. Anything, Mr.
I'm not sure, Your Honor.
Thank you,
Having it, well, Mr. Catalinic, I got another case on your.
Very well. It might be an error, sir.
All right, Shannon Jordan? You don't have a Shannon
No, sir.
Okay. I've got you, it says you were, it says on April 18th you were assigned to it. I'm not sure why. I just don't want you to leave and find out you had
Yes,
someone
sir.
else that we
Yes,
could have
sir.
taken care of.
Your Honor, can you give me 3 minutes?
Sure.
If I can get back to you?
Sure.
Thank you, sir.
Ms. Flowers?
Do we want to just go down the list, or, because I've got in custody and...
Oh, I didn't realize you had that many. Okay. Sure, just go down the list so they can have them. Do y'all have her first one set up?
I have a... Atkinson is the first on my list.
Don't
sorry,
even
okay.
wanna-
I was going to say I had somebody, but can't think of his name.
Okay.
Your Honor, I do have a Miss Chester here that's ready to enter a plea. She's out of custody if we wanted to take care of that really quickly.
Sure. Chester.
Use the time wisely. This is Natasha Chester, 23 CF 387. Your Honor, we have a signed plea agreement, if I may approach.
Thank you. Sure, you're here in 23 CF 387. Looks like a possession of controlled substance and a possession of paraphernalia. Have you gone over this paperwork with your attorney? All right, did you understand it? Do you have any questions about it? Can you raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? All right, can you do your best to speak into that microphone just so everything gets recorded
Yes, sir.
properly? Can you state your full name for the record, please?
Natasha Chester.
All right. And Ms. Chester, did you sign this plea agreement?
Sir.
All right. And it looks like it calls for count 1 to be null prost, and count 2 is withholding court costs. Sound right? Okay. Are you under the influence of any alcohol, drugs, controlled substances, or prescription medications that can impair your ability to make this plea? Any mental health issues or concerns that can impair your ability to make this plea?
Sir.
All right. If you had enough time to speak with Ms. Flowers?
Yes, sir.
Has she answered all of your questions? Are you satisfied with her advice and representation? Do you feel as if anyone has forced, pressured, or threatened you to make this plea? Has anyone promised you anything in return for this plea other than what's in the agreement? Do you understand that by entering a plea, you're giving up your right to a trial where the state would have had to prove and beyond all reasonable doubt these charges? And did you go over all your trial rights as part of this plea agreement? Did you understand those? Do you have any questions about those now? Do you understand you're waiving all potential defenses that you may have to these charges? All right, and do you understand that if you enter a plea, it could subject you to deportation if you're not an American citizen? Okay, what is your plea? All right, I'll accept your no contest plea as freely, voluntarily, knowingly given. I'm going to, the state's going to dismiss or null pros count 1, is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Okay. Count 2 is a withhold of adjudication, $270 in court costs payable within 180 days, and $150 cost of defense. Obviously, it's a misdemeanor, so we don't need a score sheet. Anything else that I've missed?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Chester. Make sure you make the plans to pay with the court costs. All right. What else do you have?
Mr. Atkinson? You can just start back at the beginning, if that's all right. Your Honor, this is Donnie Atkinson in 22 CF 2985, 23 CF 511. Your Honor, we're asking for a continuance to the 26th. I was just appointed to another new law, so we need to take depots and consider a global resolution.
All right. Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right. June 26th at 9 o'clock. Mr. Atkinson, do you have any issues with that continuance?
No.
Okay.
What do you want? This is Johnny Akins, 21 CF 2155. Your Honor, we're in negotiations with the state. We believe that once we get our judge settled and all of that, this is going to be a plea, I think, to the bench or a plea with the state. So we're asking for a final continuance to kind of get that worked out.
Objection, Judge. All right. June 26th at 9 o'clock. You okay with that continuance, Mr. Akins? All right. That'll be Judge Gontarek. All right. Thank you.
Travis Dale Anderson.
Travis Anderson.
He's present and approaching. And 22 CF 2410. I'd like to leave this set for docket day on the 1st for a plea.
Any
Potential
issue with
plea.
that, State?
No objection.
All right, May 1st, 9 a.m. We'll see you back there on that date. Mr. Anderson, stay in touch with your lawyer so you can get this case resolved.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, Mr. Anderson.
I have, Your Honor, next Melissa Ansley, and I had a plea worked out with Miss Ansley, and she signed it, but I've had to withdraw due to a conflict with Miss Chester. I've had her sign the plea before I knew about the conflict.
This is a plea call for.
It calls for her to get out of jail. It calls for a dismissal. Let me see. She's here. She's got a VOP in 20 CF 2709. She's going to admit the VOP. It will be adjudicate guilty, revoke and terminate probation, credit for time served, $100 VOP fee, $100 cost of defense. And in her new case, 23 CF 481, the state would null pros count 1, and on counts 2 and 3 adjudicate. Those are both misdemeanors. Adjudicate guilty, credit for time served, 270 court costs, $100 cost of defense. She's comfortable. I'll
ask her some questions.
Okay.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Okay. Can you state your full name for the record, please?
Melissa Ann Ansley.
All right, Ms. Ansley, you heard what the plea agreement was. It sounded like you went over it with Ms. Flowers, who is your appointed counsel. Is that correct? Okay. Do you understand that she also represented Ms. Cheshire, who was a co-defendant of yours? Is that right?
I don't know who that is.
You don't know who? I'm sorry, it's not a co-defendant. It's just okay, as a witness. Okay. Based on that, there's typically what we call conflict of interest. Now, you're allowed to waive that if you'd like to. Do you have any concerns with Ms. Flowers representing you through this plea based on the fact that she also represented a witness in your case on a different or unrelated charge?
Sir.
No? All right. Have you had a chance to talk to her about that more? Or do you need to? I just want to make sure you understand that you feel you're being treated fairly today. Okay. Do you want to go forward with the plea based on that? Yes? Okay, and you're comfortable with Ms. Flowers helping you with that despite that potential conflict of interest there? So you're willing to waive that conflict? Okay.
Right to the plea.
Yes. All right, so this is your violation of probation in 20 CF 2702. The agreement is to admit to the violation of probation, adjudicate guilty, revoke and terminate probation, credit for time served, and then some fees going to collections. Is that an understanding? Okay, and as far as 23 CF 480, it would be a dismissal of the possession charge of controlled substance, but you'd be adjudicated guilty on the possession of drug paraphernalia, first-degree misdemeanor, as well as the obstruction of a search warrant, which is also a first-degree misdemeanor. The result would be adjudication of guilt, credit for time served, and some more court costs to collections. Is that what you understand the plea to be?
Yes, sir.
Is that what you still want to do here today? Are you under the influence of any alcohol, drugs, controlled substances, or prescription medications that could impair your ability to make such a decision today? Do you have any mental health issues or concerns that could impair your ability to make such a decision? Have you had enough time to speak with Ms. Flowers? Has she answered all of your questions? Is there anything that you've asked her to do that she's failed to do or refused to do for you? Are you satisfied with her representation and advice to you? Okay. And again, do you have any concerns regarding the fact that she represented someone who's involved as a witness in your case?
Not at all.
Okay. So since you waived that, I can let you go forward with this today. Do you feel compelled to waive that because this is a time-served offer?
No.
Okay.
She did great. I mean, so.
Okay. Just want to make sure. All right. Has anyone forced, pressured, or threatened you in any way to enter this plea? Anyone promise you anything in return for your plea other than what's in this agreement? And you understand that by entering a plea, you're giving up your right to a trial, where the state would have to prove the charge beyond all reasonable doubt. And did you go over your trial rights with Ms. Flowers? And did she explain those to you? Do you have any questions further? Okay, do you understand you're waiving any potential defenses that you may have? Okay, and what is your plea? Okay, no contest. Do you understand by entering a no contest plea to these charges, you could be potentially deported if you're not an American citizen? Okay. All right, I'll accept your no contest plea as freely, voluntarily, knowingly given. As to 20 CF 2709, I'm going to adjudicate you guilty, revoke and terminate your probation, credit for time served, $100 VOP fee, $100 cost of defense. Both of those will be sent to collections. 23 CF 481, count 1 is going to be null pros, is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honor.
All right, count 2 and 3, adjudication of guilt, credit for time served, $270 in court costs, $150 cost of defense, and those will also be sent to collections. Do you understand that, ma'am? Okay, do you have any questions for the court? Okay. I don't believe we need you fingerprinted. So you have 30 days to appeal.
Okay,
All
thank
right,
you.
Thank you, ma'am. Anything I missed? You do need print? The theft? Oh, okay. Well, she wouldn't have been fingerprinted already on that? Well, just better be safe than sorry. Because it was a violation of probation. I assume that she would have already got her fingerprints taken, but I guess that's for the adjudication on the VOP. All right. Sometimes I just have to talk it out.
Your Honor, this is Ariel Bell, in 22 CF 1720.
Just going back, I'm sorry, quickly, that case, there's no score sheet because they're misdemeanors. Just want to make sure that was on the record. All right, go ahead.
Yes, Your Honor, this is Ariel Bell, 22 CF 1720. We're asking for a continuance. In this matter, I was just recently appointed.
No objection.
All right, Ms. Bell, do you have any objection to that continuance based on the fact that you just got a new lawyer?
No, sir.
Okay. June 26th at 9 o'clock. Anything else to discuss from Ms. Bell?
Your Honor, I'm going to be filing a motion to have an expert appointed to come for
Okay,
competency.
for review.
I'll do that.
Okay. I'll probably get it to Judge Gontarek's office since he'll be taking over starting next week. All right. What do you have next? You've already handled.
Joshua Colley is here. I've been appointed on all 4 of his cases now, 22 CF 1481, 22 CF 1482, 23 CF 55, and 23 CF 59. Your Honor, I'm asking for a continuance to begin the deposition process and continue receiving discovery on the newest cases.
No objection.
All right. Any objection to the continuance to June 26, Mr. Colley? You okay with the continuance, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right, June 26, 9 o'clock.
Is Davison in custody? Your Honor, I think on the docket is Lucas Walker Davison. The last I checked, which was last week, he was still in the Bay County Jail.
Bay County?
This was the basis. His charges over here were a basis of a violation over there. So he's over there on a no bond as far. So I would ask to continue. I guess. Ask to continue to maybe resolve with some sort of misdemeanor written plea if I can get it
Okay.
to him.
Do you want to leave it set for May 25th? It's miscellaneous. We can work it out.
Sure. Yeah.
26th? May 25th. I think we have a date.
May 25th?
Yes.
May 25th. Yeah, sounds good to me.
At 9 a.m.?
That's fine, Your Honor.
May 25th at 9 a.m., miscellaneous for a possible plea.
Is Mr. Douglas ready, or should I? Your Honor, Christian Douglas, 23 CF 111, asking for a continuance. I was just recently appointed.
No objection.
All right, Mr. Douglas, any issue with the continuance? Any issue with the continuance? Do you object to that at all? Since she was just appointed to you.
I request that bond modification hearing.
Well, that's not what today's for. Has there been a bond motion filed? It's to be June 26, 9 a.m., sorry.
I'll come see you, and we'll set the next court date.
Thank you, ma'am.
Your Honor, this is Shane Fell in 20 CF 1878. Your Honor, Ms. Berrickman's on this case.
And I'm covering.
Oh, okay. Your Honor, we're requesting a continuance based on the need to reset some depositions. We've had some issues getting transcripts of depositions. I am, I believe, the sixth defense attorney on this case, and she's the second. So we've been really trying to streamline this case, but it appears I'm going to have to probably do some more depositions of two specific witnesses, not the victim witnesses. But I just want to make sure that that's necessary. We're still trying to get the transcripts. I don't believe she's objecting to this last continuance.
State's not objecting.
Okay, and so just to make sure I understand, there were some depositions done that by previous counsel, and no one can seem to find the transcripts anywhere, so you have to redo them?
Correct. Well, we're making sure that that is absolutely true before we have to bring in more.
All right, June 26th at 9 a.m. You have any issues with that, Mr. Fell? All right, June 26th, 9 a.m. All right, while they're bringing out your next one, Mr. Catalinic, did you figure out your issue?
I will be quick.
All right, Ms. Flowers, I just wanted to get him out of here. He's got one left.
No, you're good. Your Honor, Shannon Jordan, case number 22 CF 3050. We're seeking a continuance, Your Honor. I am on that case. I recently got retained.
That's what it looked like. I just,
No objection.
okay, it just happened to be a similar name to the one that you thought was here, but.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, no problem. June 26th, 9 a.m.
Yes, sir.
All right. All right, Ms. Gooden, how many do you have?
I have several, Your Honor.
Well, I'll let Ms. Flowers, I just, if you only had one, I want to get you out of here, but I called you earlier. I think you'd stepped out when I called you last time. All right, go ahead, Ms. Flowers.
Okay, Mr. Gabriel?
Anthony Gabriel.
Yes, Your Honor. He's got 3 cases. 2 are VOPs. One is a new law, but getting to be older. Dr. McDonald has to complete about 4 or more hours of testing, psych testing, so we're requesting one last continuance.
No objection to one final continuation.
Okay. Any issues with that, Mr. Gabriel? All right, June 26th, 9 a.m., last continuance.
Your Honor, this is Ernest Goodman. He's got 2 VOPs as well, 20 CF 2967, 21 CF 971, and a new law, 22 CF 2601. We completed depositions this round. My client is asking that I file a motion to suppress, so we're asking for a continuance to file that motion. That's what you want. You don't
No objection.
Is this just a VOP, or there's a new one? Okay, there is a
There
new
should
charge
be a new
as well.
law.
Okay. All right, Mr. Goodman, do you have an objection to the continuance so they can get that motion filed for you?
Yes, sir, I want a motion to suppress him.
Okay. So, but in order to do that, she needs more time to get that filed and set it for hearing. So you're okay
Whatever
with?
she can get me on whatever docket closest she can.
Okay. So I'll put you on June 26th at 9 a.m. for purpose of your pretrial conference, but once the motion's filed, it can be heard before then. You'll just have to do that with Judge Gunterick. All right. Thank you, sir.
Jakia Griffin? Your Honor, she has not appeared to be here today.
Is it Jakaya?
Oh, Jakia Griffin.
Is Griffin? Jakaya Griffin? 22 CF 2991. You haven't seen her today, Ms. Flowers? What are you asking for, State?
Do you think we can reset it for Monday? If you've
If the
contact
state
with her?
if the state doesn't object, I have been in contact with her and her family, and we did have an offer, so if the state doesn't object, if we could set it for Monday, if she's not there, we can.
Set up for Monday, May 1st, 9 a.m. without subpoenas. If she's not present, there'll be a capias issued. Otherwise, we can potentially get that worked out with a plea.
And another one, Matthew Hartley.
Matthew Hartley. Oh, he's in jail.
Oh. I didn't know you were arrested.
Okay.
Matthew Hartley, Your Honor, if we could leave this set for, Your Honor, I was going to set it for, I hadn't had contact with Mr. Hartley, but I was going to set it for trial, plea or trial. So we'll go ahead and do that.
Y'all can dismiss it?
Your Honor, actually, if I may, I'll be filing a motion to continue in this case. We had the positions of the victim in the case,
Okay.
and the victim revealed that the injuries, physical injuries, are more extensive than what the state believed. So we have requested the medical records. Upon return of the medical records, depending on the extent of the injuries, per the medical records, the state intends to file an amended information to felony of the second degree, aggravated battery with great bodily harm.
In jail on that. It's a false arrest.
Okay. Probably need time, Your Honor, to talk to him about what that means. So if we could,
Do we want to keep it on for Monday?
yes, please.
I wasn't even supposed to be in jail on that.
Well, sir, I'm not sure what we're here for is your case, that we got to determine whether or not you're going to go to trial or not. You've just heard the state attorney has said that they may be changing your charges based on some medical records.
Well, I thought I was dying that night. I was going to the hospital and then I wound up in a cage.
just don't talk about- don't talk about
Don't
the facts of
talk
your
about
case.
the facts of this
I'll come and talk to
case,
you all.
otherwise, things are being recorded.
Okay, thank you.
All right, I'll put you on May 1st,
Thank you.
Not right now.
May 1st, 9 a.m. All right, thank you.
Mr. Henderson. All right, Your Honor, this is Zachary Henderson, 23 CF 296. We have a executed plea agreement, if I may approach.
Yes. Debbie Hudson.
For more information, visit us online today at www.powelllawfirm.com.
This is Tiffany Woodham, State Farm's newest agent in Crestview. I'd like to personally invite you to stop by my office on North Verdon Boulevard for a no-cost policy review. Let me help you start saving today. Call in, walk in, or click in at yourcrestviewagent.com.
At this point, I'm just pausing your case. It has nothing to do with your case, sir. So, but obviously, we've been going for over 3 hours straight at this point. What my plan is to finish up with Ms. Flowers' cases from the Regional Office of Conflict Counsel. How many do you have, Ms. Gooden? 5. Okay. Anything that's going to take a long time? Okay. So I'm going to get through their cases. I just don't want everyone to sit here. I got to take a lunch break at some point. It's not just me, but obviously I've got court clerks and court security who've been doing this for. So I'm going to tell everybody, hold on. Well, if you don't have a case, you don't need to be in the courtroom. We've got a pretty packed courthouse. So we're going to send everybody else that's not for Ms. Flowers or Ms. Gooden to come back at 1:30. I hate to do that for everybody. If everybody could just hold on and let me finish. If you don't come back, there's going to be a warrant for your arrest because you didn't appear for court. So make sure you come back at 1:30. I apologize. It's the largest docket I've ever seen. Wow. Mr. Russell, you can go. I hate it for y'all, but I'm not sure why they put 5:50 at 9 o'clock, but to be honest, I wish I would have figured this out earlier. It's just, my dockets are usually about 30 people. I know it's a little loud. Let's just speak into the microphones while everyone exits.
Yes.
This is Zachary Henderson, 23 CF 296.
Yes, and he's prepared to withdraw his previously entered plea of not guilty and enter a plea of no contest as outlined in the plea agreement.
If you haven't said you're free to go.
Yeah.
All right. Mr. Henderson, if you could raise your right hand, do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
All right. You're here in 23 CF 296, charged with fleeing or attempting to elude, which is a second-degree felony, punishment up to 15 years and $15,000 fine. Drive-on license suspended and reckless driving, both first-degree misdemeanors. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right. I've been given this plea and sentencing agreement. Did you go over this with your lawyer? Did you go over this with your lawyer?
Yes, sir.
I have to hear you, sir.
Yes, sir.
It's very loud back there, so it's kind of hard to hear up here. So just make sure you speak into the microphone. It gets amplified so everyone can hear you. All right. Are you under the influence of any alcohol, drugs, controlled substances, or prescription medications that would impair your ability to make this decision today?
No, sir.
And do you have any mental health issues or concerns that would impair your ability to make that decision?
No, sir.
All right. Do you have enough time to speak with your lawyer? Yes? Sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
My bad.
I just need to be able to hear you because everything has to be recorded. All right. Did she answer all of your questions?
Yes, sir.
All right. And are you satisfied with her advice and representation?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Does anyone force, pressure, or threaten you in any way to enter this plea?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone promised you anything in return for this plea other than what's in the agreement? And do you understand that by entering a plea, you're giving up your right to a trial where the state would have had to prove in these charges beyond all reasonable doubt?
Yes, sir.
Did you go over your trial rights that were part of this agreement?
Yes, sir.
Your right to plead not guilty, your right to go to a jury trial. Did you go through all those with Ms. Flowers?
Yeah, we did.
Okay, and did you understand those? Yeah. Any questions about those? You understand you're waiving all those in order to enter a plea? Okay, do you understand you're waiving any potential defenses that you had to these charges?
Yeah.
Who is on the scene? Reliance Communications. Go ahead and mute, we'll figure that out. Sorry about that. All right. Do you understand too, sir, that if you enter this plea and you're not an American citizen, you could be deported based on this? Okay. All right. And what is your plea?
No contest.
All right. And are you giving your no contest plea freely, voluntarily, and knowingly? It's your own decision that you made after discussing it with your lawyer? Okay. Is there a score sheet?
Your Honor, if I may provide them right after the break,
Okay.
please.
All right. Do you know what he scored? I'm assuming that this is a...
I believe it's 22. I just added up. He scores a total of 27 points,
Okay.
so not
He
a
doesn't
minimum.
score present. All right. I'm going to accept your no contest plea as freely knowingly given. I'm going to adjudicate you guilty as to count 1 year of community control, followed by 2 years standard probation, $515 in court costs, $150 cost of defense, $89.45 cost of transportation to the Okaloosa County Sheriff's Office, 2 years driver's license suspension. What are we doing with counts 2 and 3?
Oh, counts 2 and 3. Oh, is it not on there? I'm so sorry.
Okay, so counts 2 and 3, I'm assuming it's going to be concurrent probation.
Yeah, adjudicate.
Either that or credit for time served, it will be fine.
Want to do that?
Yes, please.
Okay. All right, Mr. Henderson, it's not on here, but what they're willing to do is just credit for time served as to the driving on suspended and reckless driving. Is that what you want to do today?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, time served adjudication on counts 2 and 3. All right. Anything else that I've missed? All right. Step up and be fingerprinted. You have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court.
If you want to appeal,
Your Honor, based on the fact that Ms. Flowers is appointed, the Department of Corrections recommends the supervision fees be waived.
All right. Supervision fees will be waived.
To go over here.
They're going to fingerprint you right here. Taya Hinton.
Or you guys always have to remind me on that. In delinquency division, we don't have court costs, or cost of supervision. It's called cost of care, and it's usually waived, so.
This is Taya Hinton, 22 CF 1982 and 22 CF 1983. I believe the state's only filed in one of those cases, but at any rate, we're asking to continue. The co-defendants participated in some depositions, and I need to get up to speed with that, so.
No objection.
All right, 6/26, 9 o'clock.
Okay, thank you. 6/26, June 26th.
Got Ryan James next.
This is Ryan James. RCC represents him in 22 CF 1365 and 22 CF 1431. We're asking for a continuance in order to, we had our second round of depositions and the officers were unavailable, so we're going to have to reset.
Any objection from the state?
No, Your Honor.
All right, June 26th at 9 o'clock for Mr. James. Mr. James, do you have any issue with that continuance based on the announced reason?
No, sir.
All right, June 26th, 9 o'clock.
Thank you.
Judge, I also have him in 22 CF 1883, trying to just track with what's going on. We probably have to take depots as well. I don't think they've been done as yet, so I'll get them set, try to set them for the same time.
Okay, once y'all coordinate them together, that'd be perfect. All right, June 26th on that case as well. All right, thank you, Mr. James.
Next, I have Pamela Kelly. Ms. Kelly is present and approaching in 22 CF 477. She's prepared to withdraw her previously entered plea of not guilty in a contest. May I approach with the...
Yes. All right, Ms. Kelly, can you raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Can you state your full name, please?
Pamela Kelly.
Okay.
Pamela Short Kelly.
Okay. And Ms. Kelly, did you go over this plea and sentencing agreement with your lawyer?
Yes.
Did you sign it?
Yep.
Did
Yes,
you
sir.
understand it?
Yes, sir.
Any questions about it before I
No,
accept
sir.
your plea? All right, I'm going to go through a few questions. Are you under the influence of any alcohol, drugs,
No, sir.
controlled substances, or prescription medication?
No, sir.
All right, any mental health issues or concerns that can impair your ability to make a decision
No, sir.
today? Do you have enough time to speak with your lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Did she answer all your questions?
Yes,
Are
sir.
you satisfied with her advice and representation?
Yes, sir.
Did anybody force, pressure, or threaten you in any way to enter this plea?
No, sir.
Anybody promise you anything in return for this plea other than what's in the agreement?
No, sir.
Do you understand that by entering a plea, you're giving up your right to a trial and all your trial rights?
Yes, sir.
Did you go over those trial rights with Ms. Flowers as part of
Yes,
this
sir.
agreement? Do you have any questions about those?
No,
Do you
sir.
understand that you're waiving all potential defenses that you may have had?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And what is your plea?
No contest.
Okay, and are you giving your no contest plea freely, voluntarily, and knowingly, which is your own
Yes,
decision
sir.
that you're making?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that by entering this plea, it may lead to your deportation if you're not an American citizen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'll accept your no contest plea as freely, voluntarily, knowingly given, withhold adjudication, 3 years probation, substance abuse evaluation within 30 days, and begin any recommended treatment within 60 days. Random urinalysis, $515 in court costs, $150 cost of defense, waive cost of supervision.
Yes, sir.
Anything that I've missed?
No, sir.
All right. Make
Your
sure
Honor,
you...
if I may provide the score sheet after the break, my printer is not working.
Okay. All right. Any issue with that, Ms. Flower?
No issue.
All right.
I've reviewed it.
All right, yeah, just make sure I get those so I can sign them.
Absolutely, right after the break.
Otherwise, I'll forget and move back to Santa Rosa County, so. All right.
Almost done, just, or
All right, you've got 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court, ma'am. Make sure you meet with probation before you
Yes, sir.
leave.
Yes, sir.
Ricky Lett and 21 CF 111, 21 CF 544, 21 CF 545, 21 CF 2049, and 21 CF 3295. We're asking to continue.
Judge, I've got Mr. Lett on 21 CF 2411, 2532, 2410. We're asking to continue. Mr. Lett was in federal custody.
Like to keep them to themselves, don't they? Still the same problem in other cases in Santa Rosa County. All right, any objection to the continuance from the state?
No objection, Judge, although it looks like Ms. Bossa, based on her notes, is ready for trial, so.
Okay. Well, sounds like he just became available, so I'll give him a little bit of time to get ready.
And to let us know which case number she wants to set for trial.
June 26th, 9 o'clock. That's for all of Mr. Lett's cases.
June 26th, Judge.
June 26th, 9 a.m. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Judge.
Loomis.
Cerise Loomis, 23 CF 369. I'm asking for a continuance. This is my first time up. I will be out to see her. I would imagine she's about to ask me about getting set for a bond hearing. We won't do that today, but we will get you on for a bond hearing.
If I could speak for a moment, sir.
Just don't talk about the facts of your case. I'll let you talk. I just don't want you to do anything.
Yes, sir. I'm the sole only parent of 2 small children. Managed to place them with my neighbor while I've been apparently on a violation of the pretrial, which I'm not. I haven't. Okay, I'm not going to speak any conditions because I'm not really even sure of the conditions. Why? Rent's coming up soon. I know these are common occurrences of people that go to jail, so I mean, I can only ask maybe that you'd have somewhat understanding on that. Is there any way I could have a bond?
Ma'am, anytime either side wants the court to address a bond issue, there has to be a written motion, and there has to be at least a few hours' notice. So this is the first time that she's got a chance to talk to you. She can file the bond motion and set it for a hearing in front of Judge Gontarek, who's going to be the new permanent judge in this division. I'm just filling in today, so I don't know a whole lot about your case yet. But that motion has to be filed, the notice has to be given unless both sides agree to that.
Well, could I ask one more question as to why there has to be a continuance today? Does the state have an offer for me?
I'm covering for Ms. Bossa, Judge.
I have not received an offer in discovery.
Do we want to potentially put it on May 1st and see if something that can be
Well, I was
addressed?
thinking if I could get a bond motion filed by the end of the day, we could put it on for the 27th.
Sounds
Perhaps. Would
All
that
right.
be enough time to prepare for a bond?
I would assume Ms. Bossa can get ready in 3 days.
All right.
Go ahead and just tentatively put her on the 27th. I promise I'll get it done
I don't
today.
want to break any clerk rules, but if I put it on there, do I have to give her another court date, or is that fine, even though they haven't filed a motion yet? Okay. All right, that was at 4:27?
Okay. We'll have your bond hearing.
9 a.m.
I'll come talk to you. That's the best I can do.
April 27th, 9 a.m. Do you guys know who's covering Thursday? Who's covering Thursday? Do you know? I thought I heard rumor earlier, but I'm not sure. Just curious. All right, Mr. Sanders, I know we handled his other case earlier, but this is 2017 CF 1389, 19 CF 358, 21 CF 683, 21 CF 1105.
Yes, Your Honor. In 21 CF 1105, I filed a motion to dismiss. Ms. Sandler filed a traverse, but I'm asking that the court still set it for a hearing. I have some case law saying.
Okay.
She'll request a hearing on the matter, so.
So closest court date, we can get that with enough time to prepare.
Whenever there's some miscellaneous dates. Do y'all know when there's miscellaneous dates? May 4th or?
How long do y'all think you'll need for that?
May 4th is miscellaneous. Yes.
Not long, it's really an issue of law. Okay.
I'm sure right.
Oh, that's right. I did tell her I would coordinate with her, so.
Okay, all right.
We'll just continue it for now, if that's
It's already
okay.
continuing his other case, right?
Okay.
All right, so we'll put this on June 26th at 9 a.m. In the meantime, you can set the other case for a motion hearing on that. We just won't do that today without Ms. Sandler.
Yeah, I will. I don't have it today. I'll bring it to you.
All right,
Sorry, I forgot about that. This is Calvin Lynn Tipton, 22 CF 894. We're asking to continue to coordinate depots with Ms. Basso.
No objection.
All right, 6:26 at 9 a.m. for Ms. Tipton, or Mr. Tipton, excuse me.
Unault.
Judge, I did take the liberty of looking up. Just to let you know.
She's unrepresented?
She's on the docket unrepresented, correct.
Okay, that's what I was just looking at. Who represents the Max? Who represents him? Oh, what you're saying is they haven't brought him in yet.
He's a max.
Yeah, he is here, okay.
Sorry. Your Honor, this is Eli Unault, 22 CF 2806 and 22 CF 3051. We're still awaiting results of a competency evaluation. Could we set for docket day without subpoenas, and I'll follow up with Dr. McDonald.
Has the evaluation's been done, you're just waiting on the report? That's what I'm asking.
Do you think you'll have it by then?
He was supposed to have it by today. I just forgot to follow up with him.
Okay.
All right, we're going to put it on May 1st at 9 a.m., give them time to get that report from the doctor, and then hopefully review it and have some decisions made as to what can be done on May 1st. That's a week from today. You okay with that, Mr. Null?
At this moment, like, can I say something to the court at least?
Just don't talk about the facts of your case, because I don't want you to do anything that could harm your case.
I guess I can't say.
Okay, if you say something, it's all recorded, the state attorney's here, they're going to write it down, they're going to use it against you if you ever.
Can I waive that right just to say something though?
Well, you can, I'm suggesting that you don't until you've talked about it with your attorney, because you may think it's not a big deal, but you may say something that could really be harmful to your case.
I'll come to see you. Can
you see me before the 1st?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you then.
Mm-hmm.
I agree
May
with that.
1st, 9 a.m. It'll be a different judge, but we'll see you back here. All right, thank you.
Is Wagner in custody? Or
I don't have. Do you have a Wagner?
I thought she was in custody. I've not seen her. I've had no contact. Wagner.
Wagner. Okay. What, state?
They would ask for capias, Your Honor.
Oh, Brittany Way. Is she back there?
A capias for Ms. Wagner, no bond.
Oh, okay. And Brittany Way, 22 CF 2255, an order to transport her from Walton County Jail was signed on March 29th, but I don't think she's in the Okaloosa population yet. So we'll just to continue her when she...
You want to continue her to June? State?
No objection.
6/26, 9 o'clock.
Willis.
I had a Lisa Walker. Was that yours?
Oh, I didn't have her. I might not have that updated. Was it
Or maybe
Lisa
I don't have the updated.
The Walker?
Lisa Walker, 22 CF 618. On your docket? Okay. Lisa Ann Walker
Is
here?
she in custody?
According to my report. All right, KPS no bond for Miss Walker. She get a $1,000 signature bond on a trafficking charge.
Your Honor, this is Michael Anthony Willis, 22 CF 3189. He is prepared to withdraw his previously entered plea of not guilty and enter a plea of no contest. Let me just check the score sheet. We've got an executed plea agreement. May I approach?
Yes. All right, can you raise your right hand, sir? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
All right, can you state your name for the record, please?
Michael Anthony Willis.
All right, and Mr. Willis, have you gone over this plea and sentencing agreement with your attorney?
Sir.
Do you understand it?
Yes, sir.
Any questions about it?
No, sir.
Are you currently under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, controlled substances, or prescription medications that could impair your ability to make a decision to enter this plea today? Do you have any mental health issues or concerns that could impair your ability to make that decision today?
Sir.
You have enough time to talk to your attorney, Ms. Flowers? And she answered all your questions? Are you satisfied with her advice and representation?
Yes, very much so.
Okay. Anybody force, pressure, or threaten you to enter this plea?
Sir.
Anybody promise you anything that's other than what's in this agreement?
No, sir.
All right. Do you understand by entering a plea, you're giving up your right to a trial where the state would have to prove beyond all reasonable doubt that you committed these offenses?
Sir, I'm sorry.
You understand that by entering a plea, there won't be any trial of any kind?
Yes, sir, I
And the state
understand.
won't have to prove these charges against you?
Yes, sir.
Did you go over all your trial rights as far as calling witnesses, confronting and cross-examining witnesses? Did you go over that with your attorney?
Sir, I
Do you
did.
understand all that?
Yes, sir.
Any questions on any of those rights you're giving up? Do you understand that you're waiving all potential defenses that you may have? And do you understand that if, by entering this plea that you could be deported if you're not a U.S. citizen?
Yes, sir.
And what is your plea?
That's it.
All right, I'm going to accept your no contest plea as freely, voluntarily, knowingly given in I've got 22 CF 3189 that has the possession of controlled substance, sale, manufacture, deliver of the cannabis, possession of drug paraphernalia, and sale, manufacture, deliver with intent on the methamphetamine. But in this section, I've got a different case number. Is it just?
Oh, that's a typo.
Okay, what's the actual case number?
No, is 22 CF 3189.
Okay, we just have the wrong one here. So 4621 CF 2219. Okay.
3189.
3189. Okay. All right, so Mr. Willis, I just changed the case number to make sure it's the same one as up here, so there's no confusion. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any issue with me doing that for you on your form?
No, sir, I don't.
Okay. All right, so as to 22 CF 3189, count 1, adjudication of guilt, 6 months jail, credit for time served, $940 in court costs, $150 cost of defense. Count 2, 6 months county jail, credit for time served, adjudication. Count 3, adjudication, credit for time served. Count 4, adjudication, 6 months county jail with credit for time served. So no probation. And that's everything. This appears to be a guideline sentence as well. All right, anything else for Mr. Willis? All right, you step over, be fingerprinted, Mr. Willis. You have 30 days to appeal a judgment and sentence of the court.
Gene Workman. Your Honor, Gene Workman is present and approaching in 23 CF 184. Your Honor, we're asking to leave this set for docket day for a potential plea. I'm going to put him in touch with Ms. D. Adams for mental health court.
Okay.
No objection.
All right, May 1st, 9 o'clock. We'll see you back on that day, Mr. Workman, 23 CF 184.
And then last one. 21 Yarwood.
No, he's in jail.
And it's actually just a continuance. He's got a VOP sentencing on. I need Yarwood as the last one.
Michael Huerta, do you have?
Oh, okay. Oh,
I had them on different pages of the docket, that's why.
oh, that's why, yeah. Michael Huertas is here. This is Bruce William Yarwood, 22 CF 2984. His VOP is set for a sentencing on Thursday, so we're asking to continue this case beyond that to the 6/26.
All right, June 26th, 9 o'clock.
Stay.
Okay, you're gonna come.
All right. But they would know that she was the lawyer, right? And there- All right.
Was here earlier.
I think the clerk made a good point that when I said everybody can go, but I said unless you're with
And
Ms.
he
Flowers
knows
or
I'm
Ms.
his lawyer.
Gooden, and so he may come back at 1:30. Have you spoken with him?
Yeah, we're going to set for trial.
Okay.
Where?
I don't have any objection if you can't be back here at 1:30 appearing by Zoom to represent him.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. I'll do that then. I was just going to put on the record that there is a probation offer, and he's refusing to take it.
A horse with the age.
Apparently he left, but I think he
No,
might
it's
come
not
back
lawyer.
because people
So
saw
you-
him. He may have got up with the crowd.
I'm going to get back on Zoom. I don't know.
Set it for next Monday, plea or trial? Okay.
Okay, but what if he gets back? I just want to be able to announce it with him here if he comes back.
Yes, yes, that's fine, but that's fine.
And then what else? Sorry? Oh, he was in a mental health. Oh,
Lonnie
is that
Odom?
Okay. I'm going to ask to set him, leave him on for 5/1 without subpoenas for me to go over a potential offer from the state. I believe he was in a pretrial program.
The pretrial diversion.
And then was just put back on the docket. So maybe we can, if we can maybe resolve it on Monday.
All
that'd be
right,
best.
Monday, May 1st, 9 a.m., Mr. Odom. You come back next week in front of Judge
Okay.
Gunter, talk to your lawyer in the
Sorry,
meantime.
too.
Oh,
We'll walk out and I'll give you my information, okay?
Okay.
Thank you, Judge.
all right, thank you. Ms. Gooden? No, it's okay. I didn't even notice. It's been that long of a day.
I'll be quick, Your Honor.
I hope so. No, take all the time you need, Ms. Gooden. I just think a lot of us are starting to get hungry. Or
The
already
first one I
past that
have
point.
is Katie Mendez, 23 CF 360. May I approach?
Yes. These aren't fast. All right, Ms. Mendez?
We are accepting a pretrial offer with a plea to a lesser misdemeanor. If she completes the program, then it'll be dismissed. If she doesn't complete the program, then she'll come back for a sentencing on a misdemeanor.
Okay, so it's a post-plea diversion, basically. Okay. Ms. Mendez, raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you state your full name for the record, please?
Katie Ann Mendez.
Okay. And Ms. Mendez, you're here in 23 CF 360, initially charged with burglary, but there's a plea and sentencing agreement here to a lesser included of misdemeanor battery. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and as announced by your attorney, it's a post-plea pretrial intervention agreement, which means that if you do everything you're supposed to, ultimately the case gets dismissed, right? She withdraws her plea and the case gets dismissed?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
But if you don't complete it successfully, you go straight to sentencing. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
So regardless, there's not going to be a trial of any kind. You understand
Yes.
that? All right. Are you currently under the influence of any alcohol, drugs, controlled substance, or prescription medications that could impair your ability to make this decision?
No, sir.
All right. Any mental health issues or concerns that could impair your ability to make this decision?
No, sir.
Have you had enough time to speak with Ms. Gooden and your lawyer?
Yes.
All right. And has she answered all of your questions?
Yes, sir.
Are you satisfied with her advice and representation?
Yes, I am.
All right, and has anyone forced, pressured, or threatened you in any way to enter this agreement?
No, sir.
Has anyone promised you anything in return for this agreement other than what's in the agreement?
No, sir.
Do you understand there won't be a trial of any kind, like I previously said?
Yes, sir.
Have you gone over your trial rights that you'll be giving up in order to enter this agreement?
Yes.
Do you have any questions about those?
No, sir.
All right. Do you understand that you're waiving any potential defenses that you may have had?
Yes, sir.
All right, and, oh, I guess she left. All right, and what is your plea?
No contest.
Okay. And are you giving your no contest plea freely, voluntarily, and knowingly? It's your own decision you've made after discussing it with your lawyer?
Yes, sir.
I'll accept your no contest plea as freely, voluntarily, knowingly given. Calls for a 12-month pretrial intervention agreement with the terms that are listed do I need to go over the terms if it's a pretrial intervention, or just give it to them?
They have the agreement.
They have another copy? Perfect, thank you, Ms.
Copy,
Gooden.
Your Honor.
All right, but no contact with the victim, stay away from the victim's home, vehicle, place of employment, and any places frequently by the victim. No third-party contact, do you know what that means, Ms. Mendez? You can't tell someone to go talk to that person, you can't pass along messages through someone else, you understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right. $150 cost of prosecution. This just says pay any court fees, fines assessed by the court. Do y'all typically assess court costs and things for post-plea? Okay. All right, 50 hours of community service, and may buy out 25 of those hours at, is it $11 per hour?
I believe statutorily it's $11 an hour now.
Or did that change?
It was 10.
Yeah.
It's now.
It was 10 for like the first 20 years of my career.
Judge Schlechter keeps telling me 11.
Whatever the statutory amount is.
Okay, statutory rate. All right. Anything else from Ms. Mendez?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you.
Your Honor, I'm going to take this opportunity to step out. Thank you.
All right. Are you going to join us this afternoon?
No, Your Honor. Yeah, fortunately I've covered.
That's so nice of you guys to cover for each other like that.
Next one I have is Benjamin McNutt, 21 CF 2956. He's approaching the lectern. Your Honor, I'm not sure why this is still on the docket. The state, myself, and Mr. McNutt executed a written plea agreement to a misdemeanor battery. That was filed with the court. I did file an order, but it was after or while Judge Ketchel was leaving and new people were coming in, so it may have fallen through the cracks.
Maybe where it's on the docket. Y'all still have another copy of it to send in?
I don't think I ever, mine was an email that you had. Let me look and see if I'll look.
Email back to you.
Yeah. I can.
I had him closed out as well.
Yeah, I had him closed out as well, and then was told it was on the docket. And while you're doing that, I can go through the rest of them while he's sending me that. The next one I have is Bebab Pal, P-A-L, Your Honor, and that's butchering his 21 CF 1979. I was gone the month of March.
Okay.
File a motion for entrapment. I can have that done before the 1st. I would ask to put this on the 1st of May with the hearing for the motion on the 4th. Then trial, jury selection and trial the week of May the 15th.
Ms. Basso, is this your case?
It is, Your Honor, and we can make that happen.
Okay. The motion hasn't been filed yet?
But
I would just ask the motion be done early enough that we have an opportunity to respond, because we may be able to do so in writing and save everybody some time on the 4th.
it will be done. It will be done
Okay.
before
All right.
the end of the week. The next
So we're
one,
going to put it on the docket day on Monday, the 1st.
correct.
What time are we going to put the May 4th motion?
In the afternoon is fine.
We already have something set that afternoon? normally just set everything at one time and then? Okay. May 4th at 2 o'clock for the motion hearing trial, May 15th. And where is he at?
I'm sorry?
Where is he?
There's a waiver on file.
Okay.
The next one I have is
That's a
Jeremy.
really old case that needs to be
It
done.
is. This is definitely
It
an old
is.
case. It needs to be done.
The next one I have is 21 CF 2033, Jeremy Kozer. Your Honor, I'm asking to leave this for May 1st. And then if we're not able to resolve it with a written trial, the week of the 15th.
So, plea or trial?
Correct.
All right, May 1st, 9 a.m., plea or trial. Any particular trial date you want, the 8th or the 15th, or you just discuss it on the 1st?
The 15th, jury selection the 15th.
Okay. For jury selection for Mr. Kozer. All right, anything else that you have?
The last one I have is Courtney Howard, Howard, 22 CF 2983. That should have been resolved with a written plea agreement.
Okay,
Okay.
just cancel.
I'm done?
All right.
Other than Mr. McKnight.
But y'all are going to send that in?
Yeah, well, he is on pretrial release still with the GPS monitor, so it has to be, I will have it to the court.
Why don't we do this? Why don't we keep it on for Monday? If everything gets filed, then it can get taken off.
He doesn't live in the state. I'd like to resolve it today. If I have to, I'll bring it back.
Well, we
in
just don't have the
Monday.
paperwork.
Right.
I mean, if you file it today, then it can be handled, but
Okay.
it's not ready right now.
Okay.
right? I just want to make sure
No,
we're
no,
on
no,
the
I'm
same
just-
page. Okay,
Thank you.
all right.
Did we, I'm sorry, did we address Koiser?
Yeah,
Yes.
we put him on for the first.
Your trial?
For your trial.
Clear trial.
In which week?
At the
15th.
Because we already had another one, so that's fine.
Y'all can talk about it on May 1st, too, once you have a better idea what your trial calendar is going to look like with how many are set.
I have another case that we set for that week, I said, but on the first, we'll discuss that.
All right. So at this time, I'm going to let y'all have lunch.
Thank you.
All right, sorry, y'all, but we just got to get through this thing. I mean,